Somehow I'm betting it's not the first time the guys in the white van have gone after David Benefield. Meanwhile, Milt Stegall the other night on season opening night tying George Reed and Mike Pringle for first place all time. He will have a chance to break that record next Thursday at home, fittingly, when the Bombers host the Alouettes. As we bring you back in here to Calgary, just a couple of bits of news from around the Canadian Football League, and it surrounds kickers. The Blue Bombers made a move today. Troy Westwood had a chance to win that game the other night, could not do it, and as a result, the team has went out and acquired Rob Pecula from the BC Lions in exchange for reportedly a third-round draft pick. And also, we can tell you the Toronto Argonauts, who suffered an injury to Noel Prefontaine, their terrific kicker the other night, have put 39-year-old Steve Christie, a 15-year NFL veteran, on their negotiation list. He has not been signed, but he has been put on the list. Christie has not kicked since playing for the New York Giants in 2004. That brings us to the 3-minute drill. All right, guys, the way we've done it, we're changing it a bit this year. Only 2 of each 3 panelists will get a chance to answer the individual question, and they don't learn the question until right before the commercial break. Okay, Sean, you're first. Should the Canadian Football League have a drug policy?
In a word, no. Dick Pound's dubious assertions to the contrary. I have been in numerous CFL locker rooms, and I'm saying that there's very few players in there who have issues with steroids or any significant drug use. It's completely an issue of optics.
Well, the new commissioner, Mark Hohan, has actually made a commitment to market the players, and this is long overdue. We've been marketing the league. Now he's going to say, let's actually celebrate heroes of the CFL. If that's the case, I think this presents a good marketing optics for the league, and so I agree, yes, it should be in the CFL.
I would also say, after the tragedy that happened in wrestling this week, that any kind of steroid testing specifically is absolutely necessary if you can avoid the absolute worst-case scenario. Mark Hohan, by the way, will be a guest in the booth with Mark Lee and Chris Wallaby later on in this game, and I'm sure they're going to be asking him about this. In the Montreal Gazette, Alouettes owner Bob Wettenhall says the salary management system needs some very serious adjustments, and his team will propose some changes, and he also refused to say if the Alouettes would adhere to the cap. Kahari Jones, is this ever going to work in this league?
No, I don't think it will. As long as you have owners like this that say, hey, there are problems with this, we need to change it. Owners can do a whole lot of things with the checkbooks, and so I think that there's always going to be a way to get around this, and if a team thinks they need it, they're going to do it.
Well, you know, the crazy thing is that he voted on it. He was one of the votes that actually brought this into the league, and it has to work. You know, what's interesting to me is in the middle of the season how much wiggle room each team has given, because injuries and how many injuries you have are going to come into play. So halfway through this year, it's going to be very interesting.
No chance.
Can I get some extra time too?
No chance this gets it here too. Third question, Kahari first.
Right.
Did the Argonauts make a mistake in Game 1 starting Damon Allen?
Yes, I feel like they did, just in the way that they started him. When Coach Campbell comes out and says, we're going to start you, but this guy's going to play, but maybe 3 guys are going to play, that just sends a wrong message. Higgins does it the right way with Henry Burris. I don't think Coach Campbell did it the right way with Damon.
No, I don't believe that they made a mistake in starting him. I believe that he was incumbent. He had the right. He won it in training camp. They charted every single pass that every single quarterback in that camp through, and Damon won the right to start. If it doesn't work out, then that's what happens in the game.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. I agree. I think it was a mistake to start him in Game 1. Sean, you're wrong on both your issues.
What do you know anyway?
Wrong on both your issues. We got to take the break. When we come back, we'll look at some of the changes that have been made in Hamilton by their new head coach, Charlie Taff. And Taff is making his first appearance in this place since 2000. The Grey Cup he lost here as coach of Montreal. CFL on CBC, brought to you by Campbell's Chunky.
Here comes the blitz from Saskatchewan. Moss gets it away. It's in behind Terry Vaughn and incomplete.
It was a rough year. I mean, I think it was rough for everybody here. High expectations going in, and I played poorly.
And again, Moss is struggling.
The season went like it went, 4-14, and not good enough here. And I realize that, and I think everyone around here realizes that.
Moss with some fire in his eyes.
We went in a new direction. Marcel, when he came in here, said it was going to be going into a new direction. It has, and we're all excited about it.
He has all kinds of room. He'll run. Diving!
I have one goal this year, and that's to win.
Touchdown, Tiger Cats.
CFL and CBC pregame show brought to you by Campbell's Chunky. One thing that will help Jason Maas is an improved ground game led by the man we featured off the top, Jesse Lumsden. He is with Brenda Irving. Brenda?
This is Jesse Lumsden's third season with the Ticats, but first that he's been able to join this team at the beginning of training camp. And Jesse, what sort of effect do you think that's going to have on your performance this year?
Well, you know, just coming into the team with a fresh start, not coming in halfway through the season, allows you to develop with the team from the beginning, and I think that's real important.
25 new players on the roster, and I know that Coach Charlie Taft says he doesn't really know how good this team is. What does your gut tell you?
You know, we've been working real hard through training camp, and we had a good preseason, and I think this is a very good squad.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
And Elliot, a lot of people think that Jesse Lumsden could be the first Canadian to run for more than 1,000 yards since a guy that you're familiar with, Sean Millington.
Of course, what Brenda isn't mentioning there is that Sean needed 1,500 carries to get those 1,000 yards.
As long as you get there, Elliot.
Whatever it takes.
All right, you know, the story here in Lumsden among the new faces. We talked about Timmy Chang earlier on. Greg, the big story was the cutting of Mike Moriali and Rob Hitchcock. Hitchcock will be at the game tonight. You spoke to Moriali this week. What do you think?
Well, you know, it's always a difficult time. That's the one for sure thing that you have in professional sports is change. But I believe there's a right way to do it, specifically with veteran players, for nothing else than the fact that they put countless volunteer hours in the community promoting your club. You owe them a level of respect. You need to bring them in prior to camp, give them, and I say this in quotation marks, an honest communication, the best that you can as a general manager.
Greg, you feel that Hamilton was dishonest with these guys?
I agree that they were misled. I mean, you look at their season ticket package. Who are the two mugshots that you see on their season ticket package? Mike Moriali and Rob Hitchcock. As a veteran player, you start looking for those things. Am I going to be around?
And Mike was looking very good in training camp, and as far as some of the reports that we had, it was clear that he'd actually won himself a job, and he was under that impression that he was going to be on the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and then when it turns out that he's not, you really got to wonder what was going on behind the scenes.
Guys, we really shouldn't be surprised. I definitely agree with you and everything you said, but this happens all the time, and we don't really know the backroom dealings and what's happening with salary, what's happening with the younger players coming up, if they're afraid that they're going to lose some of these players. And so really, I mean, it's really out of our hands. Once we get to 30 years old, they're looking to replace you as a player.
Yeah, but you can give at least some of the information. You allow the player to make at least as much of an educated choice as you possibly can. And then if they want to retire at that point, if they want to trade at that point, you need to be able to give them some level of respect. And I don't think that they did the right thing in Hamilton this year.
By the way, Charlie Taft did say yesterday it was one of the hardest decisions he's ever had to make, cutting those two guys, and stressed that they are being offered jobs in the organization if they want them. Meanwhile, in Calgary, also a change, but this one of attitude. Remember all these last year, guys? The touchdown celebrations, those are going to be out this year in Calgary. Jermaine Copeland was going to be cut. Tom Higgins said he was surprised that Jermaine Copeland kind of made this team, but Copeland, as much as anybody else, Greg, feeling on the new attitude of this team.
Well, and again, you know, this just becomes a real fluffy, motivational strategy by Tom Higgins and the organization, this concept of one, unless the players buy in. And you buy in as a player because of countless disappointments. These last 2 years, very disappointing, and so the players will put their agendas aside, like Jermaine Copeland, come in and do their part to win a Grey Cup.
Well, what I think is the interesting story that's behind all this is that obviously Jermaine Copeland must have had a very significant attitude issue, because when the guy catches almost 1,000 yards in receiving, obviously he's a talent, obviously he can get things done, but the coach is saying, I'm not expecting you to make the team, even though you're almost 1,000-yard receiver for us.
Let me go on record saying I didn't mind the dancing at all. I kind of liked it.
I didn't either. I'm kind of with you on that.
Good. Yeah. But it was what was behind the dancing that I thought was a problem. And what I saw with the Calgary Stampeders last year was a real division in the locker room, and guys that you had guys on this side and guys on that side, and you really can't have that. You need that team chemistry in order to be effective.
And it became, Kahari, I believe, a distraction for guys like Nick Lewis. I don't think Jermaine Copeland got the best out of Nick Lewis. I like the signings of Mark Boerichter. Guys like Ryan Thelwell, they come in with a work ethic, a professionalism that I think is going to just all of a sudden cascade into the rest of that offensive unit, and they're going to be a very professional, efficient team.
And I think we've also seen some significant changes on defense as well, and especially on the front four, on the defensive front. Are we going to be able to see them replace the production that guys like Raheem Abdullah brought to them with 9 sacks? I'm not sure whether they have it up front right now.
All right, now Nick Lewis, by the way, it's interesting you mentioned him, Greg. Tom Higgins was saying yesterday that now that Copeland has matured and shown a different side, he's hoping that rubs off on Nick Lewis too. And you mentioned the defense. One guy I'm looking forward to seeing today, I know you've seen him, Brandon Browner. He'll be wearing number 27. It's probably the first time in a long time we've been looking forward to seeing a cornerback, but this guy is supposed to be a monster as we take us to the final segment of the pregame show. Panel picks, and this year we're going to be keeping records, and this is why I should bring up that I was 5-0 in the playoffs last season. Sean Millington, you're first tonight.
Well, because I'm going to be right, obviously. I'm going with the Stamps because I believe it's the year of the horse. I think that this is the Stampeders' year. They've got a great package of receivers and guys like Nick Lewis, as we mentioned, Copeland, Boerichter, Thelwell. I think they're going to win this game.
Well, I'm picking Calgary as well, and I'm saying because week 1 is, that sounds kind of obvious, Greg, but it's very tough to come in with a good game plan on week 1 because you don't have any film to be able to evaluate the offensive line. Lots of change for Hamilton. I don't think they're going to give Jason Moss enough time to run that offense.
I got to agree with you guys. Calgary Stampeders. Those receivers are just too good. I think they have a young defensive backfield in Hamilton, and they go 6-7 deep receivers. Calgary Stampeders should win.
We're all going to go either 0-1 or 1-0 because I'm taking Calgary as well. Hamilton will be better, just not right now. They're not yet ready to beat a team as good as Calgary is. We're going to take the break. When we come back, we turn it to Mark Lee and Chris Walby. They call our season opener, Hamilton, Calgary, Campbell's Chunky pregame show.
Go! Hustle, wait! Mentally focused. Stay up! Hurry!
Little Texas two-step right there.
That's it. I've been losing weight.
I don't know what he looks like, though. That's my problem.
No, it's not him. No.
It's Charlie.
That's Chuck.
Ready, Joe?
Please remain standing.
You want this voice?
Taylor Bell for the singing of...
A big sky. Yeah. What do we... A big sky over Calgary awaits the twilight season opener of the CFL on CBC.
This is the CBC television network.
Each summer, a familiar warm wind blows across this nation, and with it, the chance to make history. For over 100 years, legends have shared this quest, but only a chosen few will have what it takes to grab it. The story begins with Hamilton, leaving a dismal 2006 season behind. Can new leadership, a trusted arm, or a hungry new upstart revitalize the legendary Hamilton pride? In Calgary, after last season's playoff heartache, a new team attitude, a high-octane offense, and the return of the prodigal son inspire the Stampeders' sky-high expectations. Get ready as these Warriors embark on this season's battle to separate the pretenders from those who dare to write their own chapters in history. And it all begins right now.
From McMahon Stadium in Calgary, the curtain goes up on a new season in the CFL. The rebuilt Tiger Cats taking on the reloaded Stampeders tonight on a gorgeous night for football. It's a year of high expectations here in Calgary, many picking the Stamps as preseason Grey Cup contenders. The Ticats have been underachievers. They've undergone a huge facelift and have no place to go but up. Good evening and welcome to the 55th season of the CFL on CBC. I'm Mark Lee along with the big man, Chris Welby. Well, the two starting quarterbacks tonight, Chris, are on the hot seat. Calgary's Henry Burris and Jason Moss of the Tiger Cats. They're at the helm, but they both have high-profile backup quarterbacks poised to take their job, so you know they're motivated.
Well, when you're talking about Henry Burris, he is the face of the Calgary Stampeders. Interestingly, last 2 seasons he's thrown for over 23 touchdowns. Played really well during the regular season, but in the playoffs, when it counts, he has struggled. So the Stampeders have gone out in the offseason and signed a former #1 draft pick, Achilles Smith, and he has played fantastic in the preseason. So that makes me wonder if Henry struggles early in this game, will we indeed see Achilles Smith?
Yeah, he's looked sharp in the preseason. Let's talk about Jason Moss. He played hurt last year in his debut 4-14 season as a Tiger Cat. He's got to be good now because he's got Timmy Chang, the University of Hawaii star, waiting in the wings.
Well, I'll tell you what, first off, Jason Moss is one tough SOB. The biggest thing about him is he doesn't tell anybody when he's hurt, and he plays through the pain. Last year he played hurt, had a subpar season, 8 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. But remember, when he's healthy, he gets the job done. 2004, over 5,000 yards passing, 31 touchdowns. And to tell you what, he wants to start off tonight on the right track and reestablish himself as a star.
2 veteran quarterbacks, and you know a lot of football fans across the country will be pulling for them on opening night. All right, how about your game notes?
Well, let's get to those game notes. It's a new year for Hamilton on offense. Hey, Moss, stay healthy. That's Jason Moss. The Ticat offense only goes as far as Jason Moss. Keep him healthy, got a chance. On defense, Corral the Stampede. Do not get beat by the big play. The Stampeders have a lot of great receivers, and Joffrey Rells at running back. For the Stampeders on offense, the Battle of Cortex. Perhaps the biggest battle will be how offensive coordinator George Cortez distributes said football to his offense. And on defense, rookies must answer the bell. 6 new starters in that defense. For the Stampeders, will they answer the bell tonight? We'll find out.
Thanks, Chris. The shadows are long on a beautiful evening for football here in the foothills. The weather, look at the temperature, 17 degrees and hardly a hint of wind out of the southwest at 15 kilometers per hour. A big prairie, clear sky, and a fast track for football. Charlie Taft, the new head coach of the Tiger Cats, back after 7 years in U.S. college football, a 2-time CFL Coach of the Year, his only 2 years as head coach in Montreal. And on the other sideline, Tom Higgins in his 3rd season as the Stampeders head coach. Stamps have been playoff underachievers, but they're loaded with talent on offense and full of new faces on a defense that has undergone an overhaul. Stampeders won the coin toss and have elected to receive, and they've got John Cornish and Calvin Bannister back to receive, and it's Bannister, one of the ranked rookies, with his first kickoff return of the regular season in the CFL, bringing it back 20 yards to the 25-yard line. Henry Burris last year leading the CFL with 23 touchdown passes, but tying with Ricky Ray for a CFL worst 18 interceptions. He's a marvelous quarterback, Chris Walby, full of skill, but he's been inconsistent. Can he find consistency this year?
Well, that's the biggest thing, Mark. He's made some poor decisions that have cost him some football games.
Burris with a bunch formation on first down at his own 25-yard line, faking the handoff and rolling right, throwing downfield. Wide open was Bo Richter on the play, returning to the Stampeders for the first time since his last game in 2001, and it's incomplete.
Well, a little bit of misdirection by Henry Burris as we take a look at that starting offense. Henry Burris Commission, the running back. Joffrey Reynolds, we know what he can do at that running back position. Wow, take a look at that receiving crew, bringing over Ryan Thelwell from the BC Lions. And Jay McNeil, the left guard, playing in his 209th regular season game tonight.
Imagine adding Bo Richter and Thelwell to an already potent passing attack. What a receiving core here in Calgary. And a big 2nd and long, 2nd and 10 situation. Here comes the Hamilton blitz. A quarterback draw for Burris. He finds an opening, puts his head down, and he'll have a Calgary first down with his first carry of the young season.
A nice job with that offensive line. John Comiskey, the center, 62. Design play all the way. Just going to drop back, find his center, number 62. He's up there. Look at that block. That's a nice job of getting a face on Johan Armour, not allowing the Sam linebacker to pick up Henry Burris before he picks up a first down.
Staff's real happy to have John Comiskey back anchoring that O-line. He missed a lot of camp with that ankle injury and didn't play in the last preseason game as Calgary goes double tight end formation on first down. Play action again, and a dump pass too high for Bo Richter, and he drops it, still looking for his first catch of this season, but there's a flag at the 40-yard line on the play.
And Mark, so what we're seeing a lot of right now is a lot of motion, a lot of bootleg action by Henry Burris. He's not sitting in the pocket. He's going to roll right, roll
Offside.
left, and try and put the bind
Hamilton,
on.
number 91, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
First down over after the offside call against the Tiger Cats.
You really want to put some bind on those two new defensive ends for the Ticats, Quentin Caver and Howard Hodges. Make sure they stay in their proper rush lanes as we see head coach Charlie Taff.
Taff has cleaned house in Hamilton. 21 new faces in black and gold to start this regular season in 2007. First down repeated, 5 yards to go now. And a play action call again, and outside Caver goes Burris. He'll have first down yardage and more as he steps out of bounds across the Hamilton 50-yard line. Let's check this new look Hamilton defense, Chris.
Well, the new look Hamilton defense, we take a look at that defensive line. Caver on the last play again, being fooled by the play action. You must stay outside. Do not let Henry Burris get to the outside. He didn't on that play. It's a good defensive line. Young and Moreno, the new linebacker in the middle from USC in the defensive backfield, anchored by Tay Cody, the only All-Star, Eastern All-Star for the Ticats last year.
Yes, this Hamilton defense was beaten up last year, and hence the changes this year. First down again. This time a drop back for Burris and an arrow outside, and Ryan Thelwell has his first catch of the season as a Calgary Stampeder, and he beats the rookie corner Dwight Anderson on the play.
Well, one of the nice things that Henry does is the fact that he starts rolling out. Now you talked about the fact that the ends have to play contained. Now when you sit in the pocket, he just comes straight back. But you see the ends, they're both so contain conscious now that he's actually forcing him not to rush the passer. They're more worried about him taking off to the outside. That buys him extra time.
Gain of 11 yards on the play and another Stampeder first down. Back to the double tight end formation. Two receivers wide side. Pump fake to the short side. And a shot inside to Bo Richter. He goes down for the football and has his first catch back in the CFL. His last game, Chris, was the 2001 Grey Cup when he hauled in that 68-yard touchdown pass as Calgary upset Winnipeg.
Well, he just finds a hole, and I love where Henry puts his football where no one else can catch it except the intended receiver, Bo Richter. He goes down, does a nice job of cradling that ball and picking up a first down.
This drive started at the Stampeder 25-yard line. Now they're on the Hamilton 25 and marching. First down, Stampeders motion to the wide side. Burris dropping, throwing in the flats to Joffrey Reynolds. Reynolds is surrounded and has to work hard to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play.
We are seeing the whole playbook, the offensive playbook. Now, you know as well as I do, Mark, in the exhibition games, we kind of play vanilla. We don't show we're going to run in the opening part of the game. And there you see George Cortez, the offensive coordinator. And they've done everything. They've done some rollouts, some bootlegs, a couple of hitch passes. And this time they try and just do a little swing pass to Joffrey Reynolds, trying to get him one-on-one in open field.
2nd and 10, Stampeders. Burris in behind his center, Comiskey. Straight back to pass. 7-step drop. Firing it across the field. It's incomplete. Intended receiver was Thelwell. They went after Dwight Anderson, and there's a flag on the play as Anderson was draped all over Thelwell.
Well, talking to Ryan Thelwell before the game, he says he loves the offense that George Cortez has put in because they will do a lot of motion. He's lining up as a wide receiver. He will swing inside. He'll come across much like Ed Hervey used to do with the Edmonton Eskimos, and that's what he tries to do. He comes back to the middle.
Pass interference. Hamilton, number 20. First down.
But as he comes across, as you say, Dwight Anderson all over him. Just going to come across right there. You see him? Try and go down. Little early contact.
So Burris picking on the short corner, the rookie out of South Dakota, Dwight Anderson. Joaquin Bradley normally at quarterback, the veteran Tiger Cat who was injured and unable to start the season, as Burris comes to converse with his offensive coordinator George Cortez, who's brought back that old John Hufnagel offense that he used here 8 years ago. And it's an offense that Burris is familiar with. And remember, Cortez is a coordinator who gets the most of his quarterbacks, grooming the likes of Dickinson, Garcia, and Burris.
You know what I like, Marcus, even more, is the fact that he sits in the meetings with the quarterbacks and the receivers. The receivers must know exactly what the quarterback sees, and that means they're always going to be on the same page.
The rookie, Jermaine Reed, makes his way off the field. We'll take a break here at McMahon. The Calgary Stampeders threatening on their opening offensive drive of this football game, the 9th play of this series, engineered by Henry Burris, picking on the rookie Dwight Anderson, and his pass interference has given the Stampeders a 1st and goal situation from the 10-yard line of the Tiger Cats. Brett Ralph flanked wide left. 3 receivers to the wide side, including Nick Lewis and Bo Richter. Back to pass. Burris throwing deep to the end zone. Touchdown. Nick Lewis on the post. A 10-yard touchdown pass from Burris to Lewis on the opening drive of the game.
Mark, they just run a little bit of a 6-receiver set. And they get Nick Lewis out. Richard Carey tries to give the cover. He gets a couple steps on him. He's just going to break it back underneath the goalpost. Beautifully delivered ball. He's got 2 steps, 2 strides on Carey, and an easy touchdown. I mean, that's a really, really nice offensive series for the Calgary Stampeders.
DeAngelis with the point after, and the Stampeders leading receiver from last season, Nick Lewis, hits the end zone first as Henry Burris, efficient through the air, 4 of 5 for 36 yards and that 10-yard touchdown strike.
Just going to go down. He's going to back it up, and they see him just come right across the middle right there. That's one of the things as a halfback, Richard Carey is going to have to try and keep him to the outside. Once he gets to the inside, maybe he's expecting a little bit of safety help. The fact is, when you got 6 receivers, you're not going to get that. Just simply beat that man one-on-one. And the end result was a touchdown.
Bo Richter just adding to the stacked passing attack of this Stampeder offense as Nick Lewis hits the end zone first. And they go after Richard Carey, normally a free safety in the secondary, playing at halfback in this Ticat defense. Henry Burris, all kinds of talk leading up to this game about the pressure he's under to perform. Achilles Smith on the sidelines as the number 2 quarterback in Calgary. And Burris delivers on the opening drive of the game. Corey Holmes back to receive the kickoff. The special teams player of the year 2 seasons ago, and DeAngelis ready to deliver. Into the wind, high, and Holmes will have it at the 18-yard line. Up the numbers, reversing his field, gets a block, and that is driven down by the cornerback Shannon James. A 57-yard kickoff and a 19-yard return by Corey Holmes. Jason Moss, the other quarterback, the other starter on the hot seat with his first offensive series of this football game. Chris, last year was a write-off. They were 4-14. He was plagued by injuries. He played with a torn abdominal muscle and that injured arm for the entire season. Didn't complain about it. A lot of people loved the way he showed his character and didn't point fingers, but now he's got to deliver with Timmy Chang backing him up. They'll start on the ground. And Jesse Lumsden, the only Canadian tailback starting in the CFL this season, goes up the gut.
Well, let's take a look at the Ticat lineup. Jason Moss, you just talked about him, and Neil Lumsden. His son, Jesse, going to be a star in this league. The receivers, let's look for Brock Ralph, 80, to have a breakout year. Led the Ticats with 3 receiving touchdowns last year, and that was the most of any Ticat receiver.
Jesse Lumsden getting to start from the very beginning of this season, his 3rd in the CFL after coming in midway through the past 2 after failed NFL tryouts. The first pass for Moss is complete to Julian Ratlin. He breaks a tackle and heads upfield, still going, and finally driven out of bounds, but there's a flag on the play back by Moss, and it looks like Calgary's guilty of roughing the quarterback as Trey Young came in on the 0 blitz.
Mark, you hit it on the head. Definitely roughing the passer. Trey Young, the safety blitz. Swung the pass off to Julian Radlin. Denny Crehan, the defensive coordinator, assistant head coach, sending in
Major
the calls.
foul, roughing the passer. Hamilton, number 33, 15-yard penalty. First down.
So we'll just tack on 15 additional yards at the end of that run by Julian Radlin. You see him there, number 33, just going to come through. He's trying to time it up. Ball's dumped off, and you're not allowed to contact at all. There's no footsteps, no 3 steps anymore.
Chris, the net gain on the play is 37 yards when you tack on the penalty to Julian Radlin's reception. On the ground, Lumsden with a straight arm, with some speed, slashing outside, down the sidelines, and Lumsden steps out of bounds. But the big tailback showing his speed there, getting outside quickly. A gain of 15 yards on the play.
Well, the thing, he's a 6'2", 230-pound back that's got some wheels. He has got some speed to get to the outside. Nice job of pulling around by the center, Marvin Hage. But look at him break the tackle. That tackle has to be made. Now he steps out of bounds there. The whistle goes. That's why he stopped with the football.
Lumsden lost 15 pounds during training camp with a stomach virus and feels he's finally getting back to full strength. And now the Ticats are threatening. First down inside the 20. Handing off to Lumsden, and Lumsden with some tough sledding there, going off tackle left for a short gain as Cornelius Anthony makes the tackle from his linebacker position.
Well, the Stampeders, I believe, defensively are going to see a lot of Jesse Lumsden. As we see the Ticat defensive line.
Big makeover there, Chris.
Oh, absolutely. You got 2 Canadians in the middle with Reed and Wayne.
Gain of 3. As we saw the Ticat D-line there, it's the offense right now that's at full speed ahead. 2nd and 7. Moss rolling to his left. He's got lots of time. Wide open is Radlin, but the ball's a little high, and the fullback can't pull it in. And like that promising drive stalls.
Well, I think it was one of those instances where Radlin was looking into the sun. And I think that's one of the reasons he couldn't secure that ball. It was thrown by Jason Moss. Great block, and he picked at the blitz. They roll him out. One guy's going to come free, but by that time the ball's delivered. You can see right there. It hits him in the hands. Radlin's got to make that catch, but he's looking directly into the sun.
Yeah, it might be the toughest catch in football. Not, just the toughest pass to throw and the toughest pass to catch like that, right into the sun and in the flats. And so the newcomer, Nick Setta, the legend out of Notre Dame, will attempt his first field goal of this season from the 21-yard line. Chang holding it, and Setta splits the uprights. The Stampeders lead by 4 as Hamilton claws one back on the Setta field goal. The CFL on CBC coming your way in high definition this evening from McMahon Stadium in Calgary. A 7-3 Stampeder lead as Henry Burris and the Calgary offense go back to work after opening with that touchdown pass to Nick Lewis, and George Cortez replacing Steve Barato as the offensive coordinator in Calgary. And Burris was telling me yesterday, Cortez has all of the receivers reading the defense like a quarterback, and it's really helped build some rhythm. Play action on first down. Burris throwing, nearly intercepted. The ball was late, and they went after Anderson again, but this time the rookie diving to break it up.
Great read by Dwight Anderson. They picked on him earlier in that first drive. This time he recognized they're going to try and go back to the flat. breaks on that ball and almost comes up with an interception. Little play action, roll, and he's going to throw back. Nice job of 20 getting his hands on that, and as I say, very close to coming up with the INT.
Real interesting that Burris is using play action without establishing the run, likely anticipating the Ticats looking for Reynolds to carry the ball. Bo Richter in the backfield now, motioning the slot back in a 6-receiver set. Burris in trouble, trying to get away now. Flags on the play. Burris outside. Carey will drag him down, shy of the first down. But there are flags on the play.
A great hustle by Richard Carey. Carey taking away the corner, because as that play broke down, Henry Burris decided he was going to let his legs take him to the first down. He seems to be indicating that the penalty is against the Ticats.
Legal contact on the receiver. Hamilton, number 16, 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Zeke Moreno, the new middle linebacker for Hamilton out of USC.
Well, just right up there. He's just going to get a little grab, take him down to the ground.
Now that's a matchup. If they get Bo Richter on Moreno, and Moreno there clearly overmatched in speed and had to take him down.
Well, that's exactly what you want to do. When you line up a receiver as a running back, that MAC linebacker, middle linebacker, is responsible for him.
First down, double tight end formation, Calgary. Handing off, look at the hole as Joffrey Reynolds goes up the gut for a gain of 15.
And Mark, you asked me why, or you made the comment why they're not using much Reynolds and they're doing so much play action. The fact that he's rolling out to the sidelines and basically spreading that ball around has spread out the Ticat defense, and as a result, look at that opening up the gut of that defense. All you got to do is get somebody on that middle linebacker, Moreno, and you got a huge hole.
Oh, they sealed Moreno there, and a 15-yard gain for Joffrey Reynolds. His first carry of this football game. Back to pass, Burris throwing to the near sideline. It's complete for another first down as Kenyon Rambo will get possession across the 40-yard line. Rambo, the number 4 receiver in that arsenal for Calgary 1 year ago.
And here's the interesting stat. You have a guy by the name of Jermaine Copeland who cannot start with this unit. He is the backup.
Good point, Chris. And Tom Higgins was telling us yesterday when training camp began, he didn't think that Copeland would make this football team, that there would be room for him. But Copeland has a new attitude and has, blended into this football team, accepting a backup role. First down, Stampeders moving again. Quick look-in pass, incomplete. Intended for Nick Lewis in tight coverage. Let's go to the sidelines now and welcome Brenda Irving.
Well, Mark, the Stampeders took the unusual step this week of closing 3 of their practices. I spoke with Coach Tom Higgins yesterday. He says he doesn't like to do it, but the team was working on some trick plays he felt could accidentally be leaked to the opposition. Other teams also, Mark, have expressed concerns this year about open practices, especially after the Riders and Eskimos learned video of their practices could be found on the internet on the popular YouTube website. Mark, Chris?
Yeah, now YouTube is infiltrating CFL practices. Here's Burris, straight back to pass. Pressure. He runs up the middle and is hit from behind. Clinton Wayne wraps him up on the play, but Burris will be very close to the first down depending on the spot. To the sidelines in our pivot this afternoon and this evening, Kahari Jones.
Guys, I'm down here on the sidelines and looking at the Hamilton Tiger Cat defense. I mean, they look lost. This Calgary Stampeders, they are showing a whole lot of looks, a whole lot of fronts. They're going from 6 receivers to 2 backs, and Hamilton has no answer for it.
And there's one of the newcomers, Zeke Moreno. Kahari, good point. That entire D-line for Hamilton is brand new when you've got Quentin Caver, Jermaine Reed, a rookie Canadian out of Akron, Clinton Wayne moved into a starting role, and Howard Hodges.
Well, I think Kahari is absolutely on the point. I mean, when you talk about the fact that Henry Burris has distributed that football through the air to 5 different receivers already. He's spreading it out. He's handed up the gut to Reynolds, who's busted a big one right now. And Henry Burris himself has used his athleticism to hurt the defense when everything else is taken away. And he uses his legs and rambles for another first down.
The Ticats are excited about a lot of the youth they have on this football team. But players like Quentin Caver and Jermaine Reed and Howard Hodges getting their first shot on the D line in this league, and you've got a brand new rookie middle linebacker in Zeke Moreno.
And because this is the first game, I think these Hamilton Tiger Cats don't have any film on the Calgary Stampeders, so they haven't really seen all of these looks. They had to guess in practice all week, and it's tough to guess, especially when you got 6 receivers like Calgary Stampeders can put on the field.
Ticats also with a rookie defensive coordinator in Ed O'Neill, who has never coached in the Canadian Football League before.
Well, the Ticats also have 7 new starters on that defense. And when you start throwing everything at them, I mean, they start questioning. When you start getting question marks in the heads of the defenders, they make mistakes, and that's when they get exploited.
Roger Dunbrack has come into the game, the 10-year veteran out of Western, to try to steady this defense on a 3rd and inches situation. Burris with the sneak, and this may be very close as the Ticats say they've stopped him. And it was Moreno sticking his nose in.
Oh, Zeke Moreno, he came over there like a guided missile. And you could see, just as Henry Burris tried to go to the left, there was contact, and he went down like he'd been shot.
There's Moreno, the run stopper out of USC, and the Ticats waiting for the measurement here as they bring up the chains. Kahari, what do you see?
Oh, I'm standing right here on the sidelines and right next to the first down marker, and I don't think they got this. The offense gets that yard, but if the defense gets a big push like they got, then that's what you're going to see.
Well, Moreno rising to the occasion after being beaten up previously, and a big stop there. The Ticats take over here on downs as Burris comes up short by the length of a football. Moss and the Tiger Cats take over on offense when we come back.
Sirius is a proud partner of the Calgary Stampeders and would like to give one Sirius season ticket holder a Sirius Starlink 3 plug-and-play satellite radio with 6 months of free service. If you're in Section U, row 55, seat 4, then you're the winner tonight. Report to the Stampeder Administration Office with your ticket stub to claim your new Sirius satellite radio.
The rookie Ticat D-line takes a breather after a big stand on that 3rd and inches situation. And Zeke Moreno, the middle linebacker out of USC, with a spearing stop on Henry Burris. And so Jason Moss takes over on offense for the Tiger Cats. And they hand off to Corey Holmes. Holmes elusive. Bounces outside, and the rookie Calvin Bannister making the tackle for Calgary. Let's take a look at that stand.
Well, you really got to see that's penetration. Defensive line has to do the job up front, and Quentin Carr will do a good job. But watch Moreno just come over the top. He was only trying to pick up a yard. Maybe he's got to get a little lower, but that's great penetration by the far side defensive end and the MAC linebacker, Zeke Moreno.
2nd and 4, Hamilton.
2nd and 4 for Moss and the Tiger Cats. And they will try to get the ball into the hands of Corey Holmes a lot more this season. In the shotgun, he escapes pressure, shovel pass to Holmes, and Holmes will have the first down for the Tiger Cats as Brian Clark comes in to make the tackle at linebacker for Calgary.
Well, I like the way that Hamilton's utilizing Corey Holmes, but let's take a look at that Stampeder defense. Patrick is the guy, Terrence Patrick. He's going to be the leader of this young group. Kieron Williams at the middle. Anthony Brian Clark, who will swap with Scott Coe in the middle. The defensive back, they got the new one there, Brandon Browner. They really like him.
Clark not starting, though. He's in behind Coe to start the season. Pitch out. Jesse Lumsden hammered at the line of scrimmage, and it's Brian Clark, the 10-year veteran, making his presence felt here in the season opener. A loss of 1 on the play.
Well, he came to camp, and it was interesting talking to Barker, the general manager, and he says, you know what, when he comes to camp, we know what Brian Clark can do. But we wonder, has he lost a step? I mean, let that answer your question right there. The guy is so instinctive on a football field. He knows exactly what he does. He does such a good job of pre-snap reads, of reading the offense.
Well, you know, it's got to be tough for a veteran, a decorated veteran like Clark to take that demotion. He's in now in this platoon system on defense, but he's been a team player for the Stampeders. And a big stop there. 2nd and 11. Here comes the Calgary blitz. Moss gets it away on a crossing route. And it's complete to Holmes. He beats the first man and gang tackled across the 50-yard line, but very close, scrambling to the first down marker for a gain of 10. It might be about a yard short.
And you know what? The interesting thing is last year they got Corey Holmes in the trade, and we all thought, great. We saw what he did with Saskatchewan. What a versatile player. Can hurt you on special teams. Great receiver out of the backfield. Can run the ball strong. And they never used him.
He only started 4 games.
Amazing. And now he's finally see a little bit of what Corey Holmes can do. And talking to Charlie Taft, the head coach, he says, we're going to try and make him a bit like my old running back, and that's Thomas Haskins in Montreal.
One of the things you see a lot of times with a Corey Holmes and a short pass is that you don't want your quarterback to make a short pass when it takes 10 yards, but you can with Corey Holmes because he's one of those guys that can make not only one guy miss, but 3 guys miss on any given play.
Many fans at Calgary were flabbergasted last year when Holmes only started 4 games. He played in a total of 10, but in 6 games he was on the 4-man reserve list. This is a guy they got in that trade for their first pick in the Ottawa dispersal draft. That's Kerry Joseph going to Saskatchewan. And you know Taft will make better use on a 3rd down gamble. Up but got a flag on the play as Moss plunges for that 1 yard.
Well, I agree. Just to finish off the thought on Corey Holmes, I mean, when you have a weapon and you don't put him on the field, there should be question marks about who's in charge. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know when you got a guy that can really hurt you. He was Special Team Player of the Year in the CFL. Didn't get a chance to even do that. So, I mean, you got to utilize your weapons, and Corey Holmes definitely one of those, and that man, Charlie Taft, will utilize him tonight.
And it's a penalty against the Tiger Cats here.
Procedure.
It's procedure.
Hamilton, the right side of the line, did not set for 1 second. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down repeater.
So they looked like they were close to converting on 3rd down. Now it's 3rd and 6. Let's look at the procedure.
Oh, they got down late. Unforgivable. Unforgivable. You know the snap count. You got to get down. Get up to the line. Hustle. Get down in your stance. That's lazy. It cost him a drive.
It was J.P. Bakasiak, the rookie, who wasn't set. The punt is away. A wobbly punt to Rambo at his own 25. Dancing. Finds some room. And then is hammered. Brought down shy of the 35-yard line. You're watching the CFL on CBC. Tomorrow it's World Cup Soccer, the Under-20 tournament on CBC. Coming your way at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Japan versus Scotland. And at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Canada taking on Chile. The World Under-20 World Cup on CBC. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. The Stampeders in that double tight end formation again. Burris in the shotgun. Handing off. Joffrey Reynolds going off the left guard. And it's a gain of maybe 4 yards in the play behind Jay McNeil.
You know, Jay McNeil, the 50. The man that really gets it all done. He's the leader in an offensive line, and he just gets a nice block. You can see pushing Roger Dunbrack right out of the pocket, allowing Joffrey Reynolds to pick up something positive. He does, picking up 4 yards.
14-year veteran Jay McNeil. 5 receivers set here on 2nd and 6 after the pickup of 4. Burris to the wide side. 4 receivers that direction. And he's got a man wide open. Nick Lewis beats 2 and is finally chopped down by Wayne Shaw at about the 47-yard line.
And Mark, we're going to tack on a roughing the passer as well at the end of that. I believe Quentin Caver, 91. Just trying to get in there, getting close to the quarterback. After the ball is delivered, you cannot contact the quarterback.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Hamilton, 93 and 91. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's the 2nd time the Ticats have roughed Burris.
Well, that's both ends. 91 here, and there's 93 coming from the other side. But
oh, that's a cheap shot from behind. Quentin Caver with a shot from behind, and Hodges on the other side.
Actually left his feet, almost like a body check in hockey where you get called for charging.
This will be the last play of the opening quarter. Henry Burris so far 6 of 9 through the air for 59 yards and a 10-yard touchdown pass to Nick Lewis. 1st down Calgary. Burris barking the signal, straight back to pass. Flushed, rolling right. Now he's across the line of scrimmage. Here comes Moreno. And Burris wisely steps out of bounds at the Ticat bench. The first quarter has ended at McMahon Stadium, and the home team up by 4 and threatening to score again here in Calgary. Welcome back to the CFL on CBC. A special hello tonight to our servicemen and women around the world, looking in from places like Afghanistan, and to our American viewers. The broadcast now reaching upwards to 90 million homes in the United States, and with the Ticats signing quarterback Timmy Chang, hello to viewers on KHON in Hawaii. They've picked up 30 games this year after the Cats signed Timmy Chang. How about the first quarter stats?
Well, both offenses have really played pretty good in that opening quarter. Take a look at the passing yards, pretty even. I mean, Calgary had that great opening drive capped off by the Nick Lewis touchdown. Hamilton came back, kicked the field goal by Nick Seta. One turnover, and that was the stop on the quarterback sneak by Henry Burris by Zeke Moreno.
2nd and 6. Burris and the Stampeders. Burris rolling the pocket. It's complete to Mark Boerichter. Now he fumbles the football. Now, was he down? The ball has been turned over, and Zeke Moreno is on it for the Tiger Cats.
Well, the question will be, was he down before the ball came loose? I look to me from up here that he was trying to square and pick up additional yards. Therefore, it's a fumble. That's the ruling on the field right now by the officials. Henry Burris pointing to the scoreboard with the replay showing he doesn't think it's a fumble. He thinks he was down. Of course, your quarterback would be an ally of that call.
So the second turnover of the first half for Tom Higgins. Calgary Stampeders, the first on downs, and this fumble by Boerichter. Is there a challenge? His knee looks like it's down.
It's down. It's down. It looks like it, yep. Tom Higgins did throw the flag. You take a look right now. Now, we talked about the fact he's got possession. Does the knee go down before he comes out? From that angle, almost looked like his knee wasn't down.
Well, the challenge has been thrown by Tom Higgins. There was possession, no question about that. Was he down? Was his knee contacting the turf before Mark Boerichter lost the ball?
And you lose nothing. Ken Lazarick over to take a look at the replay booth. But the big thing is, it's a smart call. I mean, Tom Higgins threw a flag because regardless of the outcome of the challenge, your first one's a freebie. Doesn't cost you a timeout anyway. Take another look at that.
I think his knee's down.
And that one looks like his knee down.
Bernard Cox coming in to jar the ball loose here from Mark Boerichter right there.
That's what you talk about, getting the helmet on the ball. Bernard Cox, nice job. But
was his knee actually in contact, or was it just his shin?
It almost looked like his knee touched and came back up as he was spinning. Let's take a look. Looks like it's down, and then it comes back up, and that's when he gets drilled. But then when you look at that one, it doesn't look like it touches on that one. It's interesting when you see it. You got to remember one thing. When you're looking at things in slow motion, sometimes it's a lot different than regular speed.
There's his knee right there, bent by the Ticat tackler. And a quick review by Ken Lazarick. He's out from underneath the hood, and he'll have a decision here on this Calgary challenge.
After reviewing the play, the player was not down by contact. Fumbled ball, Hamilton's ball, first down.
So the knee did not touch, although the lower part of Boerichter's leg was on the turf. It is a fumble, and the Ticats have their second turnover.
And one of the reasons I really do like the instant replay, I think that's one of the things that answers questions, and you get a sure answer in 90% of the situations.
Jason Moss had surgery on his bicep last December. Didn't start throwing until April. And here he is back at the controls to start the season. Faking the pitch out, rolling to the wide side. Lots of time. He's got pursuit from behind. There's a flag on the play. And it was the rookie Russian Anthony Gargiulo. Quick pursuit, taking the quarterback down.
Gargiulo showing some good speed to get to the outside to track down Jason Moss as he's attempting to run with the ball. Flags were thrown as he got to the outside.
Legal contact on receiver. Calgary, number 2, 10-yard penalty. First down.
Jermaine Chapman with an illegal contact on a receiver, and so a first down for the Tiger Cats.
Mark, that's one of the situations that really puts the secondary in a bind, is when a quarterback gets to the outside. They don't know if they should come up, tackle the quarterback, or stay with their guy.
You know, I was talking a moment ago about Jason Moss undergoing the bicep surgery on his throwing arm. The Cats wanted to keep him to a pitch count like a baseball pitcher in training camp. But he told us yesterday he really threw caution to the wind and didn't adhere to that because he said, I needed to win the job with Timmy Chang in camp. Moss now. Throwing it across the middle, Lumsden with the catch, and he's gang tackled near center field and very close to a first down to the sidelines. And here's our pivot, Kahari.
Guys, both teams really look like carbon copies of each other right now. I mean, they're both showing multiple sets. They're both giving the defenses things to think about. And as you well know, a defense that's thinking about things can't go full speed.
Jason Moss running the West Coast offense put into effect in Hamilton by Charlie Taff and Mike Working. He was telling us, Chris, that really it's a complicated offense. It takes 2 to 3 years to master. And he said, I don't have that kind of time. So it's like taking a drink from a fire hose. He's got to learn on the fly here.
But I like what they're doing. Now, if you're the Ticats and you recognize that Denny Crean Stampeder defense wants to bring the blitz and pressure, you leak out your running back, Jesse Lumsden, just a little hook and curl about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Nice job of just dumping him the ball, and then you see the power of Lumsden to pick up, as they're going to measure to see if they pick up a first down, but get him close to that first down marker.
Denny Crehan has revamped that defense. Chris, from the last game they played in the West semifinal last year, there are 11 defensive Calgary players no longer in red and white. What an overhaul, Kari.
One of the things that I see is this Hamilton Tiger Cats, they're trying to get the balls to their playmakers early on. They don't know what exactly they have with receivers, but they do know what they have in Corey Holmes and Jesse Lumsden.
Second and short, and Moss puts his nose down and battles for what looks like a first down. Yes, a first down for the Tiger Cats at midfield as this man, the hard-nosed quarterback, the veteran, up the gut.
Hey, you know what, further to what Kahari said, I really love it because Charlie Taft says, you know what, I just want you to be the bus driver, Jason.
Yeah.
You know, manage the offense and get the ball to the playmakers and let them move the chains.
Well, it was no secret that Moss was not comfortable in the Joe Paopao offense last year. And then with Paopao and Greg Marshall being fired early in the season, he was on his own. Moss looking to the wide side, under pressure now, can't escape, and he goes down at the 50. A loss of 5 on the play as the rookie out of Dartmouth, Gargiulo, makes the tackle and the sack.
Well, Gargiulo gets a sack, but that's a secondary sack. What I mean by that is they have excellent coverage downfield by the linebackers and the secondary. He's pumped. He's looking to the right, looks to the middle. He's got to pull it down, and by that time, that protection's going to break down, and eventually Gargiulo gets him with the sack.
An entirely new D-line for the Stampeders as well, with Gargiulo and Caron Williams and Terrence Patrick now in a starting role. Demetrius Maxey, Sheldon Napastuk retired, and Raheem Abdullah in Edmonton. Moss on second down under pressure gets the ball away to Lumsden. It's complete, but not back to the original line of scrimmage, and so it's third down. The Tiger Cats in a punting situation.
The Stampeders again lining up as if they're going to bring the blitz right up the middle, the gut of that offensive line. Then they back out into their zone drops. Jason Moss is reading that. He tries to dump the ball off to Lumsden, but it's short of the first down.
Nick Seta, who they say has upwards to a 5-second hang time. These high, steep punts pushing Kenyon Rambo back to his 8, and a perfectly positioned punt. Rambo with nowhere to go as the Ticat punt cover celebrates a big stop. Stampeders with bad field position after a 48-yard booming and towering punt from the rookie Nick Setta.
Well, it's one thing to be able to kick a 48-yarder. It's another to kick a 48-yarder with, as you say, 5-second hang time. Because what happens is by the time he catches the ball, I'll freeze it there, guys. Take a look at this. You've got all the coverage. This is exactly what you want to do. There's nowhere for the returner to go. Great cover, great kick. Put Calgary offense in a hole to start the offensive drive.
There he is, Notre Dame's second all-time place kicker behind John Carney. Nick Setta, the import, winning a job here in Hamilton. Burris out of the backfield. It's complete to Rob Cote, the Canadian rookie out of the Victoria Rebels Canadian Junior Club, and he's been a story in training camp, winning a job when he thought he was going to be with the Calgary Colts this year.
You know what? They love this guy. As you say, played for the Victoria Rebels, the BC Football League. He lines up in one-on-one run drills, and he goes to pass block. And of course, they got Tony Bua, one of the hardest hitting linebackers on defense, who knocks him over, and he gets up, spits his tooth out, puts his helmet back on, and the coaching staff said, we might have to keep that kid.
Double tight end formation. On the ground, Joffrey Reynolds around the corner, and then Zeke Moreno, the middle linebacker out of USC, and Joanne Armour tag team the big running back, limiting the gain to just 2. Joffrey Reynolds, the #2 leading rusher in the CFL from 1 year ago, in behind Charles Roberts. He's averaged, Chris, 1,500 yards rushing in his 2 seasons in the CFL.
But interestingly enough, as we open the second quarter, that's only his 3rd carry of the game.
Yes, this Calgary offense, which led the CFL in passing yardage 1 year ago, has been all air game so far here in the first half. Second down, long. Burris under pressure, throwing the screen, and it goes nowhere as Reynolds is caught quickly by Moreno, who's quickly establishing his credentials in the CFL.
You gotta watch the drop. What a great job by Moreno, the middle linebacker. He lines up as if he's gonna do a blitz. Drops back in the zone, and all he's doing, he is keying. Watch him come back. He just sits there right there. He waits. He's keying the running back, Reynolds. As soon as he gets the ball, not only does he go over and make the tackle, but he tries to rip the ball out and cause a turnover.
Burke Dales, who gets set to punt, standing inside his 10-yard line. And it's JoJo Walker, the rookie out of Maryland, back to receive. Dales with a good one himself, a deep spiral, pushing Walker to his 28. Walker going to the wide side, looking for a block, gets one. Now he's outside, flags on the play as Walker heads upfield and crashes down across the 45-yard line. The young man who played for Charlie Taff at Maryland has a 17-yard return.
And they're going to call Richard Carey. He's not going to like the fact that his name's being called a lot this football game. He's already got beaten for a touchdown by Nick Lewis. This, I believe, he's going to get called for blocking from behind.
Well, they've gone back to the new old blocking rules in the CFL this year, allowing blockers to hit 3 sides of the
legal block,
defender, the
Hamilton,
cover man.
Number 19, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, they're going to call Sandy Beveridge, but I know I saw number 12. He might have got away with one there.
Ticats on offense when we come back.
Welcome back to Calgary, where the Stampeders lead the Hamilton Ticats by a score of 7-3. Well, Chris Getzlaf is making his CFL debut tonight with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Right now, we're joined by Ryan Getzlaf, who is a member of the Stanley Cup champion Anaheim Ducks. And boy, this must be a huge month for the Getzlaf family.
It is. It's huge. You know, we've been having so much fun with it lately, and you know, to see my brother go to his first CFL camp and be able to be at his first game has been awesome for me too.
Now you're bringing the Stanley Cup to the city of Regina on July 24th, and I know you want your brother to be there.
I do. I wish he could be there. I just got word that they play 2 days after, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to make it, but I would have loved for him to be there.
Well, try to put in a good word with the coach, Charlie Taff, see what we can do.
Yeah, I'm going to try and talk to him when I'm down here.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations, the Stanley Cup.
Thank you.
Let's go back upstairs to Mark and Chris.
Hey, Brenda. Great to see one brother supporting the other here tonight as Chris Getzlaf makes his CFL debut, drafted in the 5th round this year out of the University of Regina, and he has been a bull in a china shop. There's Moss, and it's incomplete to Jesse Lumsden on a crossing route across the middle in a punt situation for the Tiger Cats.
Yeah, talking to Charlie, Taff about Chris Getzlaff. They said they really like him. 100 miles an hour. Now, if they just get him pointed in the right direction, they'll be happy, because a lot of times he just doesn't know where he's going right now, and they have to teach him the game a little bit.
Oh, Jack Rabbit on the field.
Oh, we got a new running back lined up right behind the half there.
If only he could carry the football. A little delay on the field now as the players trying to get this Jack Rabbit off the field. Heading to the 10, the 5, into the end zone. Now heading for the exit. The Tiger Cats set to punt the ball for the 3rd series in a row here, after an impressive looking opening drive that resulted in the Nick Seta field goal. And Seta now to punt for the 3rd consecutive time here for the Tiger Cats. Seta, the Chicago native, beating out Mark Myers. There's the Jack Rabbit. Not sure which direction they head out. Now he's heading the other direction towards the Calgary end zone. There's nobody from the stadium to usher this little guy out. He makes his way into the end zone and looking for his way out of the stadium. Set on the high snap, just gets it away as Thelwell came close to blocking it. Rambo now at the 38, nowhere to go. And once again, this Hamilton punt cover has been terrific. A 48-yard punt from Seta in a return of just 2, and another flag.
Flag thrown in the middle of the football field, and I believe Wes Lysak was involved. Whether he was the culprit or the victim of a mugging, we'll find out shortly from head referee Ken Lazar.
Holding, Calgary, number 31, 10-yard penalty, first down.
A little holding call against the Stampeders, which will push them back into the 31-yard line in tougher field position to start this offensive drive with 8.5 minutes to go here in the first half. That's Lysak. Didn't like the call. As Burris comes to the line of scrimmage with a double tight end and a bunch formation here to the wide side. And all kinds of movement as the Ticat defenders come across the line of scrimmage. It was Jermaine Reed across the line of scrimmage, but it looks like the Stamps offensive line moved. Procedure, the call against Calgary. They're going back.
Procedure, Calgary, number 50, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Left guard Jay McNeil getting the jump on that snap count.
Stamps moving closer to their own goal line. We have a chance to remind you that we'd like you to log on to cbcsports.ca in the second half tonight to vote for the player who you think shows heart and determination of a warrior. The warrior of the game, brought to you by the all-new 2007 GMC Sierra professional grade. Jeffrey Reynolds, and there's no going there against this Ticat defense. No gain on the play as Joanne Armour, a 4-year veteran out of the University of Miami of Ohio, makes the tackle for Hamilton.
Well, Armour makes the tackle, but the defensive line, the 2 players in the middle and the 2 ends, Hodges and Caver, are getting penetration and not allowing that counter to work. Just a counter, just going to try and bring back across the grain, but penetration will kill that play. Armour brings him down, but with help from his teammates.
2nd and 15 for the Stampeders. 4 receivers to the wide side. That's where Burris is rolling. Wide open is Mark Boerichter. Boerichter gets a good block and gets outside for the Calgary first down. Mark Boerichter back in the saddle in Calgary.
Well, much like the opening drive of the game, Mark, Burris seems to be more comfortable when he's on the roll. Get outside the pocket. He gets a better vision downfield to find his receiver. This time he finds a wide open Boerichter, and he does the rest with the ball, picking up a big first down.
Boerichter with 3 catches in this first half for 46 yards. The Stampeders Rookie of the Year back in 2000 and their game breaker in the 2001 Grey Cup. Double tight end formation on first down. Burris with time, wanted to go long and throws it back outside and incomplete to Ryan Thelwell.
Nice job of the Ticats taking away the deep throw. Burris going to sit in the pocket. He wants to go down the field with this ball. They take away that option. His only other option is to try and throw it to the flats. Try and get that ball to Ryan Thelwell.
Burris showing more composure there. In the past, Chris, he tried to force the football, sometimes with negative consequences. Good-looking passing attack here tonight for the 9-year veteran. 4 receivers wide side. That's where Burris is looking. Now he's under pressure. Fakes the pass, he'll run, and is tackled shy of the 50 by Armour again.
Excellent open field tackle by Juwan Armour to come up and take the legs out of the elusive Henry Burris in the open field, forcing the punting situation.
Well shy of the first down, a 3rd and 8 situation as Burris could not get away from Juwan Armour. Burksdale's to punt for Calgary.
And Mark, what I'm seeing a lot of is the team speed that has increased on the Ticat defense. They are hustling to the ball right now, a reflection of the discipline and accountability theory that Coach Charlie Taft has put to all his players.
Burkdale's with a high spiraling punt deep, pushing JoJo Walker to his own 5-yard line. Gets a huge block on the play from Dwight Anderson, but there's a flag down as Walker finds open field, hurtling to the 50 and caught from behind, but this looks like it might be coming back. A 47-yard return for the rookie out of Maryland. We'll sort this all out when we come back to McMahon Stadium here in Calgary. Dwight Anderson guilty of an illegal block, wiping out that 47-yard return by JoJo Walker, and he doesn't like the call. Let's have a look, Chris.
Well, he may not like the call, but pretty simple. Let's just watch him as he comes down. Good cover. You cannot hit from behind, and watch it right there. It's just flagrant. It's not a good penalty for him to take. Because, as you say, it nullifies a great return by JoJo Walker.
It's a net loss of 50 yards. That's nearly half the length of the football field. First down and horrible field position for the Tiger Cats at their own 2. Moss in the end zone gets the ball away. Is nearly intercepted. It looked like his arm may have been hit as he tried to make the pass, and Tony Bua, the rookie outside linebacker from Arkansas, got close.
Well, that was Cornelius Anthony, number 8, who they say has had an outstanding camp, played about 7 games at that linebacker position last year. You see him do a nice spin move, come back in here, and one of the things you have to remember now, that it was the throwing shoulder that Jason Moss had trouble with last year, and that's exactly where he got hit there.
That looks scary on Moss. Yes, the operation at the insertion point of his bicep, all kinds of movement there as the rookie Cedric Gagné-Marcoux was pulling before the ball was snapped, and it is procedure, the call against the Tiger Cats.
Yeah, left guard Cedric Marcoux.
Procedure, Hamilton, number 53, half the distance to goal line, still second down.
And these are the times where your offensive line has to get calm. They cannot start getting all nervous and excited. You got to know the snap count. He's just going to pull. He's just going to leave a little early. You know the snap count.
Gagné-Marcoux, the rookie out of Central Florida, replacing the veteran George Hudson, who may be lost for the season with a knee injury. And look at this, 2nd and 11 from the 1, and Moss calls a timeout to the sidelines. Kahari.
Well, Jason Moss's shoulder is doing. I mean, he hasn't thrown a ball over 5 yards this game yet. Until he goes downfield with the ball, we're still going to be unsure.
What do you make of his mechanics so far, Kahari?
I mean, the mechanics look good. He looks like he has good zip on the ball, but he has been hit a few times in the pocket, so I'm curious to see how it comes out in the second half.
And he told us yesterday that during practice, he's still feeling pain in that arm. It's not fully healed yet.
I don't think he's ever going to be 100% because he doesn't allow himself the time to get better. But the fact is, Kahari, I agree with you 100%. We'll check it out when we see the first long throw of this evening.
And Kahari mentioning he hasn't completed a ball over 5 yards yet. He hasn't completed a pass yet to any of his receivers or slot backs. And he's in a real tough situation here. Backed up to his goal line from the 1, 2nd and 11. Throwing a hitch pass outside in the end zone. Fumbled! Recovered! Jermaine Chaplin has it. Touchdown, Calgary.
Mark, did he have possession of the ball? That is going to be the question. Did he have it long enough? Because you must secure the ball, and then if it becomes dislodged, then it is a fumble.
Brock Ralph was the receiver. The catch in the end zone. Did he have possession? We'll wait for the ruling from Ken Lazarick. Touchdown was signaled, though, on the recovery by Jermaine Chapman. It is a touchdown as Sandro DeAngelis prepares for the point after.
Well, just when you think they're starting to turn the corner offensively, sees he goes high, secures it, he's got the ball. Good call by Lazarick on that play, and Chapman comes up with the touchdown.
He had possession, and his feet came down, making contact with the turf. A huge turnover. Chapman, touchdown.
Randy,
I think they can challenge that. They could have, but it looked like too late now. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they can't challenge. If you challenge it and you're unsuccessful, because they used their timeout already, you'd have to lose a second half.
Brock Ralph, the only veteran Hamilton receiver back in the lineup from last season, feeling pretty badly about that turnover.
Well, it's just nothing but a hitch pass. Get it to him, get him one-on-one. He tries to break something positive. He brings the ball down, but great contact. I mean, Krantz Clemens dislodges the football, and Jermaine Chapman, Johnny on the spot with an easy touchdown recovery.
Guys, you are not going to have success in a football game if you keep throwing the ball side to side. They have to at least challenge this Calgary defense. Show them that you will throw the ball downfield. Even if it's incomplete, you have to show them that, hey, I'm willing to do this, and I will throw it downfield to open up the field.
Perhaps they should have conceded the safety. It's Corey Holmes returning the kickoff across the 30-yard line.
You know, Corey, I agree with you 100% because of the fact that as a secondary, if you're playing the game in front of you, it makes that game so much easier. You have got to make that secondary turn and run with the receivers. They used to say turn the hips. Make the secondary and the cover guys turn their hips and run. He hasn't done that yet. He hasn't challenged them vertically, and that's hurting him.
Definitely. I know when I was playing, I tried to throw at least one deep ball a quarter just to let them know that I would do it. Even if it was incomplete, you have to let a defense know that, hey, I'm willing to throw the ball downfield, and that will loosen them up.
Moss back to work from his 31. Stamp showing blitz, trying to intimidate the veteran. Here they come again. Again, a flat pass, incomplete, intended for JoJo Walker, and there's a late hit on the quarterback, and a flag in the backfield as Scott Coe gets up off of Jason Moss.
Well, for the second time, it looks like the Stampeder defense will be
major foul,
penalized for roughing the passer.
Calgary, number 56, 15-yard penalty. First down.
And you're right, it's Scott Coe who's starting this year in the middle linebacker position. But again, much as we just discussed with Kahari Jones, a flat pattern, nothing down the field. You've got to challenge this defense.
Well, last year with the bad arm, Moss couldn't throw a 35-yard pass in practice, one of his coaches was telling me this week. And Moss, with the surgery, not completely healed, as he told us yesterday, Chris. And we're waiting to see him put something on the ball here, and the Jackrabbit has come back for a little entertainment. And now they've got him to the end zone. Moss with better field position after that 15-yard penalty against Scott Coe. And lots of time here to engineer a drive here to end the first half.
And what they were doing earlier when they saw the blitz and leaking out the running back, whether it be Lumsden or Holmes, and getting the football, that can turn into a big play. But you got speedsters like Nate Curry, Richard Alston. I mean, these guys have got to be utilized.
Although the word out of Hamilton is that they have yet to find a deep threat, someone with the speed to be a game breaker. They have Thyron Anderson and Jason French in the wings after that trade. They're not dressed. And they go to the ground. Corey Holmes bouncing outside, a straight arm, and he's pushed out of bounds by Calvin Bannister at the first down marker.
Taken out by Calvin Bannister, number 19.
Well, get the ball to your playmakers, and that's exactly what Moss does in this play. He gives it to Corey Holmes. Little sweep action to the short side of the field. He's going to bust it outside. Nice block by Jesse Lumpton to spring him to the outside.
It's going to take a while for this new Hamilton offense to gel. A new offensive line, new receivers, and a new scheme in that West Coast offense from Charlie Taff. Taff, we're told, has been a taskmaster, meticulous in practice, demanding that the routes are run to the tee and that Moss's passes are thrown at the right time, Kahari.
And guys, there's a difference between getting the ball to your playmaker and giving other guys a chance to be playmakers. And that's what I haven't seen from Hamilton. They haven't even attempted to throw the ball to any of their receivers yet, so you really don't know what you have until you try.
1st and 10 at the 54. Double tight end formation for Hamilton. Play action now. Moss wants to go deep, throwing it. It's short. Jump ball. It's complete. Nate Curry, the rookie from Georgia Tech, goes up for it and comes down with the football.
You know, it's interesting, just talking to you, Kahari, about the fact that Charlie Taff is so serious about making sure that all these receivers run their routes, and they haven't even attempted one deep. Finally, they go deep. Bit of a floater.
It hung up.
But at least the receiver, I really like the effort shown by Nate Curry to come up with this ball.
And you know what? That is a great pass. He gave him a chance to catch that football. I mean, he could have threw it out there a little bit more, and it would have had a chance to be incomplete. But what you want to do is give your receiver a chance to go up and get that ball. He got it at the highest point, came down with it. Great pass, great catch.
And you see one of the things on that replay, Kaharu, is the fact that your safety, Trey Young, because they have not gone deep on that play, he was playing shallow, and that is one of the reasons they beat him over the top, and he couldn't support the halfback on that play.
Nate Curry was one of the last cuts last season in the Kansas City Chiefs operation in the National Football League. He was on the practice roster for the last 2 games of the season with Hamilton last season, and this is bad news if it's serious for Calgary, as Krantz Clemens is in difficulty and still down on the field after making the tackle on Curry. Nate Curry, another one of the newcomers in this young and flashy Hamilton offense, making the first catch downfield.
And remember the offenses of the past Ticats, the last couple years where they had all their problems was the fact that receivers were dropping balls. They weren't fighting for the football. Excellent example by Nate Curry of wanting that ball more than the defender and positioning himself with his back to the defender and allowing him a chance to come up with that catch.
And those are some of the things that you really can't tell in practice, because Nate Curry can't have a chance to get that ball in practice because the guys aren't going full speed. So it is a whole different thing once the lights come on. That's when you really get to see who your playmakers are.
And Charlie Taff said yesterday, we're the underdogs. Nobody thinks a lot of us right now. And that's the way it should be when you win 4 football games in 2006. And he said that his team's going to be a mystery until the first month of the season's over.
Well, he had one line that I loved. He said, we're not going to say we're rebuilding. That would be a disservice to my team. We're trying to win right now.
Brandon Ha, the sophomore out of Rutgers, number 4, is into the game for the injured Krantz Clemens, and the Ticats with a threatening possession here. 1st and 10 from the 15. Double tight formation. Holmes breaks a tackle, high stepping to the 5-yard line where Trey Young brings him down, but it's a gain of 10 and another first down.
Excellent job at the point of attack by that offensive line, because they're going to stack everybody in there, the Stampeders will, in the box. That's between the tackles. There's Trey Young, he's between them, but there's Scott Coe. And the fact is, if you get at Marwan Hayes 62, that's an excellent job of turning your defender to the outside and allowing just a little seam for Corey Holmes to take advantage of.
Corey Holmes now with 6 carries for 31 yards and 2 catches for 18 against a frustrated Denny Crehan and this Calgary defense. 1st and goal, Hamilton from the 5. A double tight end formation. The handoff is to Holmes, and he's caught this time as the rookie halfback Calvin Bannister makes the tackle for a gain of just 1. The 3-minute warning has been given to the benches in Calgary.
One stadium,
Second and goal, Tiger Cats from the Calgary 4-yard line. Hamilton's deepest penetration of this first half in a drive that started back at their own 31-yard line. The 6th play of the drive coming up. Bunch formation to the boundary. Moss up behind his center, Marwin Hayes. Moss back to pass, 5-step drop, time, throwing the corner route, it's incomplete. Brock Rolfe, the intended receiver, and it was nowhere near him. They went after Brandon Ha, and they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Well, I got to tell you, Jason Moss, you cannot get caught up. Watch Corey Holmes as he slides out here, guys. He is wide open. Freeze it there, guys. Take a look at him right here. He is wide open. There's nobody around him. He just does not see him. He was too focused on one receiver, and if he would have looked around, I think they would have had a touchdown.
And so Taff is frustrated as a beautiful scoring chance evaporates. Nick Seta now. This attempt from the 11. It's up and good. And so the Ticats have their second field goal, but blowing a promising opportunity to hit the end zone deep on the 4-yard line.
Well, we finally see them go vertically. Nate Curry comes up with a big catch, and then we see Jason Moss, after a nice run by Corey Holmes, try to force the ball. He actually started the program on a receiver. He did not see Corey Holmes slide out the flats.
And I think that is a residue of last year. They had trouble in the red zone. They had trouble everywhere last year, but that really scoring down there is a mindset. And until they start scoring, until they get comfortable down there, they may have problems.
Kahari, I got to ask you, when you're a quarterback and you've been taking some punishment as he has in past years, does that also rush your decision process?
Oh, it definitely does. You know, I mean, he's still probably not all the way sure about his shoulder coming off of the season that he did. I'm sure he felt rushed on that play, and even though he was trying to hit that receiver, he needs to throw that ball inbounds and give that receiver a chance to catch it. I know definitely Corey Holmes was open on that play, but hey, give your guys a chance to score when you're down there.
And Jason Moss, Kahari, has had to completely change his footwork. He used to be a straight drop back guy. He would back up out of the shotgun. Now he's having to turn his shoulder and do a 5- and 7-step drop. So he says he hasn't done that since college. So a new offense, new mechanics, a lot of changes for the veteran.
Yes, it's like learning a different language when you go back there. When you go from different coordinator and different offensive philosophies, you hope that you're able to do those things. But as you get older, you kind of get stuck in your ways, and it becomes tougher and tougher.
And Moss with just one preseason game to come into the season. It's Bannister now with the return, and he's hit quickly by Sandy Beveridge. A 64-yard kickoff and a 21 return for Bannister, a young prospect out of Hampton in his first CFL season. Henry Burris, after marching his team to the end zone on the opening drive of this game, has been unable to manufacture the same sort of fireworks since.
That must be given, the credit must be given to the Ticat defense, who have made some adjustments.
First down, Calgary at the 32. A 6-receiver set for the Stampeders. And a quick look-in pass, low and complete to Jermaine Copeland, the veteran, with his first catch of the football game.
Well, Jermaine Copeland, who in the last exhibition game led all Stampeder receivers with 6 catches and 80 yards, as you say, in a backup role. But he can come in and be a catalyst for this offense, because we know what he can do. 2003, over 1,700 yards receiving, so he can still get it done.
Well, he's come in, Tom Higgins says, with a new attitude, cleaned up his act. He's in better shape, and he's a team player. Handoff up the gut in a short yardage situation on second down, and it looks like the Stamps will convert it. A reminder, we're about a minute 51, exactly a minute 51 away from halftime here at McMahon Stadium. And our halftime show, Elliot and the panel standing by to discuss this opening 30 minutes of football. And then we'll take it back in the day. Turn back a page in CFL history.
We're going to go down to the half to Elliot and the Chunkettes.
Chunkies.
Chunky boys.
All right. will appreciate that. 1st and 10, 4-man rush. Burris with time, pumps. Now he throws wide open to the wide side. Joffrey Reynolds tackled by Richard Kahari, and a huge and easy 1st down for the Stamps. Kahari?
One thing I see from Henry Burris that is definitely different from last year is he is so quick on making in his decision-making process. He's going back, he's making a decision. If he sees that it's everything is covered, he takes off and runs the ball. He doesn't stay in the pocket and try to make something happen. And I think that bodes well for this Calgary Stampeder team.
No, he has been really excited about George Cortez and the coaching he's received so far this year, and helping him as a quarterback. Burris has used 7 different receivers on the night. Now he'll use his legs, diving for another Stampeder 1st down.
What a great move by Henry Burris. You just talked about the fact that he's not forcing the ball when he's throwing it. Take a look at this little sidestep. He pulls his leg back and just makes the defender whiff on him. That's Joanne Armour. He just goes all the way around him, and then pure athleticism takes it up and picks up a 1st down.
Burris was saying that the confidence that George Cortez and Tom Higgins has been showing in him, with all the talk about Achille Smith waiting to come in as the celebrated backup, he said that's really been encouraging for me, building my confidence. It's put a smile on my face. And Cortez has paid a lot more attention, he says, to the passing game than his predecessor, Steve Barato, who was, he said, more concerned with the running game. And in this football game, Chris, he's been using his legs to do the talking.
Well, we know what he can do when he throws the ball. He's got a great arm, very strong, but I mean, this is another dimension, and it really puts defenses in a bind when you start using your legs. And if there's any kind of an opening, just the smallest crack in that defense, Henry Burris will make you pay.
Burris says that Cortez has simplified his reads. He says, where my eyes go right away, if I see zone, I know what I'm doing in a 1/10 of a second. If I'm 2nd and long, I see a certain defense. George tells me, you know where you're going. This receiver's going to be open. He'll be there on your 3rd step. You've got to believe and show some trust in the system, and it's been working for Burris so far early in this football game. 1st and 10. Burris with lots of time, throwing upfield. It's incomplete, intended for Brett Ralph, as he tried to climb the ladder in front of the rookie Dwight Anderson.
Number 11, Brett Ralph, the intended receiver.
Well, they have so many receivers. That time they use a 5-receiver set. They try and get Brett Ralph as he's breaking across the middle. We talked about this earlier where Jason Moss missed an open receiver. That time Mark Bullrichter down the left side was wide open, but Henry Burris did just not see him. Just coming across the middle, just overthrows the intended receiver.
That incompletion will stop the clock with 33 seconds until halftime. 2nd and 10 from the 33. Burris under pressure in a 5-man rush, throwing a ball and a miscommunication there in behind Jermaine Copeland. He was heading upfield, and Burris threw the out.
One of the few instances we've seen tonight where there's been a bit of miscommunication between the receiver and the quarterback. I agree 100%, Mark. It looked like he thought Copeland was going to go past the 1st down marker and break it to the sideline, and Copeland thought he was going to take him deep. So the ball sails out of bounds, no catch, and we bring on DeAngelis for a field goal attempt.
Sandro DeAngelis, the most prolific kicker in the Canadian Football League from a year ago. He hit on 86% of his field goals. This one from the 40. DeAngelis has the ball up and good. With 25 seconds to the half, Sandro DeAngelis opens the spread to 11.
DeAngelis is another weapon. One of the things I like about him, Mark, is the fact that he has got the deep ball capabilities with the field goal. 53-yarder to win the game against Montreal last year.
August 12th, yeah.
And 2 years ago, a 56-yarder.
Yes, and he pounded 56 field goals through the uprights last season to set a new Stampeder record, breaking the old mark of Mark McLaughlin's. That was set at 54. He was just 3 field goals shy of the league record held by Dave Ridgway. 25 seconds on the clock for Moss and this Ticat offense with a young and inexperienced receiving corps. Moss in the shotgun. Here comes the Calgary blitz under pressure. The ball's away and complete at the 40-yard line. Anthony Arsenault, another one of the rookies, a former teammate of Timmy Chang's in high school in Hawaii, has his first catch in Ticap black and yellow. They're in the hurry-up offense here with 19 seconds to go. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Ticats have no timeouts left here before the half. Another blitz from the Stamps. Moss, the ball's away, short yardage to Arsenault again, and he's tackled maybe just short at the 44-yard line.
Well, you mentioned Arsenault, and he was recommended by Timmy Chang, who walked up to coach and said, or Desjardins, and said, "You got to bring this guy. I played high school with him, outstanding receiver, doing nothing." They brought him to camp, not expected to be anything, and he's made the squad.
Chris, they brought him to camp a week into training camp, so Charlie Taff heeding the advice of Timmy Chang. And Arsenault with 2 catches. He'll be short, about a half a yard short of the first down, 3rd down with 8 seconds to go. And the Stampeders have called a timeout, maybe to set up a return here. We've got a chance to remind you that tomorrow, World Cup Soccer on CBC, the men's under 20 tournament coming your way, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, Japan versus Scotland. And then at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time, it's Canada versus Chile in the World Cup under 20 soccer tournament here in Canada.
And Mark, they call a timeout a lot of times, especially with this time left, 9 seconds in the first half. They're probably going to try and block.
The ball is away and a deep punt to Rambo, and it goes out of his hands and out of bounds for no return with just 2 seconds on the clock. Kenyon Rambo returning punts in place of Marcus Howell, who has an Achilles injury and unable to suit up here this evening. Tom Higgins telling us yesterday that if Howell can stay healthy, he just might lead the CFL in punt returns this year.
Well, they really love him. I mean, he's a guy that's got a tremendous work ethic and just one of those guys that excites his teammates. He's loved by everybody, and he just does a great job on that special teams.
Tom Higgins, the architect of this new one philosophy here in Calgary this season, really preaching modest behavior, no more stage celebrations in the end zone, and a real team cohesiveness as the Stamps drain the final 2 seconds of this opening half off the clock. Burris to Nick Lewis on the opening drive for a 10-yard touchdown, and Jermaine Chapman recovering a Brock Ralph fumble in the end zone for the other. And the Calgary Stampeders will go to the locker room with a 17-6 lead over Hamilton. Here's Brenda now with Coach Higgins.
Well, Tom, your defensive coordinator was saying earlier this week that it might be tough to coach against Charlie Taff just because so little was known about his strategy. What did you think of the coaching in the first half?
So far, so good. Not a badly played game, and that might have been one of the best short yardage stops I've seen in a long time. My hat's off to them. Usually that's an easy convert, but turnovers were a big part of why the score is still close. But you got to be happy going in at halftime where we're at, and we'll see if we can win this in the second half.
So much was made of the one campaign heading into the season. Did your team play that way in the first half?
Well, you know, they unselfishly are allowing everybody that's on the sideline to play, and we have a lot of great receivers, and they're all getting their playing time as well defensively. They're getting their time as well, and I'm not sure that anybody can have any complaints, but it's about the next 30 minutes, and it's about the team, and so far, so good.
Thanks for this.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Now let's go back to Mark and Chris.
Brenda, in the last 2 seasons as head coach in Calgary, when Tom Higgins' team leads at the half, they are 15-3.
I think Paris Hilton was still in jail when that first half started. 90-minute long first half, and Calgary leads by 11. Could have led by more, but a fumble and a turnover on downs. You heard Tom Higgins refer to that. killing them and preventing them from scoring even more. Elliott and the Chunkettes, Chris Walby called us. Sean Millington, Greg Frères, and Kahari Jones. And guys, one of the storylines we talked about going in, Henry Burris. And Kahari, what did you think?
Henry Burris looked good in that first half. I really liked the way that he went back. He made one read, he made two reads, and then he would take off. I think George Cortez really did him a favor early on. He called some running plays like this play here, a quarterback draw, lets him get to his legs involved. I know I usually felt good when my legs got involved, and then it would go over to your throwing.
But I would say it's a very conservative attack as well. They haven't gone downfield, just like Hamilton really hasn't gone downfield, trying to figure out their opponent in this first week. And ultimately, they need to go in at halftime, make some adjustments, but it's been very crisp. And so for Calgary fans to be able to see them execute their offense, this is very promising early on in the year.
Come on, Kahari, how much did you use your legs? Come on.
Oh, I used them a lot early on.
2.1 yard rushing average. It worked hard there. Jesse Lumsden, what did you see?
Well, he's looked pretty good. He's been running really effectively. He's actually a lot faster than I gave him credit for. But something that I've noticed is he's been tending to go to his right a whole lot. I don't know if this is a predetermined scheme according to the blocking, but he's definitely stayed on his right. We haven't seen any runs off to the left.
Talking to head coach Charlie Tapp before this game, he said he was very worried about the protection. Number of key injuries on their offensive linemen playing out of position, and so he was worried that he wasn't going to be able to give Jason Moss the time he needs to get downfield, and that's maybe why you're seeing a lot of Jesse Lumsden and dump-offs to their running backs.
I think the other key thing we saw from Hamilton, and you harped on this a lot when you were talking with the guys in the booth, Jason Moss, and a lot of the frustration in Hamilton last year was we don't throw the ball downfield. And I think if there's anything Hamilton fans are curious about right now is they aren't throwing the ball downfield.
Holy smokes, one downfield pass to one receiver. He's only hit one receiver all half so far. They're going to have to do a lot better than that in the second half.
Sean, what's very frustrating, obviously, the fumble in the end zone to the Calgary Stampeders gave them their score. It's 2nd and 10. Why are you throwing a lateral pass to Brock Ralph and causing that fumble to happen? That should not have been a play that's called.
And like you said, this looks so much like last year. They talked about last year and talked about all the 5-yard passes that they had, but then they come out and they do the same thing. As an offense, you want the defense to think you're a little crazy. I'll go deep anytime. And you know on first down, they're probably going to run the ball. You know on second down, they're going to throw a short right now.
Now, we did call, Greg, you had a point you wanted to
make? And you got guys like Nate Curry. This is a guy new to the CFL. He goes up and makes a play in traffic. I mean, that's something that you see Arlan Bruce doing all the time. Remember you in Winnipeg with Arlan Bruce. Throw it up. Let him be an athlete. Make a catch. And that's the kind of guys on the team. So go out and be an athlete.
And this is the problem that we saw last year with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They made lots of great plays, but just a little bit too little too late, and we've seen this so far this half.
There was some question when the touchdown was scored on the turnover by Brock Ralph about whether or not it was a legit catch. Hamilton did not challenge. We did call George Black about it, the referee-in-chief, and he said absolutely right call on the field. We'll take the break right now. Hamilton up 17-6, or Calgary up 17-6 here in our opening weekend game, CFL on CBC.
Back in the day, a shift in time. Brought to you by Nissan, trucks and SUVs.
His teammates called him Sponge because he could soak up passes, but Dave Sapunges rarely got wrung out before he crossed the goal line. The Toronto native and former Western Mustang played 7 seasons in Calgary and twice led the CFL in receptions. The sure-handed slotback was a 2-time most outstanding Canadian and drew top Canadian honors in all 3 Grey Cups he played in. He was the first non-import to make 100 catches in a season, and he did it twice in 1993 and again in 95. He finished his career with 460 catches for 6,586 yards, both rank him 5th on the Stampeders' all-time list. The CFL's best home team last year has the lead so far this year. Don't forget, after the game, if you go onto the website you see there, cbcsports.ca will have live post-game coverage from here at McMahon Stadium. But the second half is still to come. Jermaine Chapman now has 2 career touchdowns. His second, a big one in the first half.
The third quarter straight ahead here in Calgary as night falls over the Stampede City. And let's go to the sidelines. Here's Brenda now with Charlie Taff.
Well, Charlie, you were saying yesterday you didn't know exactly how good of a team you had. What did you learn from that first half?
Well, the good news is the score is certainly within reach. The bad news is we've really killed ourselves more than anything. We get them in second and long, and we can't stop them. They converted a bunch of second and long plays. Our kicking game, we had some great returns, and we took penalties that backed us up. We had very bad field position after we had turned the field position with great returns, and then offensively, we had some pretty good drives. We got to finish the drives with touchdowns and not kick field goals. So we got a lot of work to do. Obviously, it was not a great first half, but the good news is, as I said, we're in the game, so we got a chance. I got to believe we can play better in the second half.
Charlie, thanks for this.
Okay, you're welcome.
Charlie Taff's offense led by Jason Moss in that first half. Chris Walby, 2 deep penetrations into Calgary territory to the Calgary 14 and the 4, and both resulting in field goals.
Well, he hit it on the head when he said we got to take advantage when we're in the score zone of putting a touchdown on the scoreboard rather than settling for field goals.
Take away that bad call from their own goal line when they threw the hitch pass. Moss to Brock Ralph that turned into the fumble recovered by Jermaine Chapman, and they're even closer in this football game.
Yeah, and I didn't really like the decision anyway. He's been throwing the ball so much horizontally. You got to go vertically. Kahari mentioned that in the first half as well. Attack this Stampeder defense.
DeAngelis to open the second half. JoJo Walker from his own 18-yard line up the middle against a seam and is hauled down by Cornelius Anthony. Ball is loose, but they're ruling that Walker was down. So the Tiger Cats will go on offense to start this second half, and the question is, does Jason Moss have the arm to go deep, and will he try to threaten this Calgary secondary as we take a look, Chris Walby, at the first half statistics?
Well, you can take a look at the first, and obviously they favor the Stampeders. Time of possession slightly in favor of the Stampeders. Obviously the turnovers. The one big turnover by the Ticats that gave Calgary a touchdown. Jermaine Chapman recovering the Brock Ralph fumble.
First down, on the ground they go. And the handoff up the gut, and there's little to pick there as Jesse Lumsden is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. At first half, Jason Moss distributed his passes this way.
Well, I mean, come on, take a look at this. We've been talking about this. One deep ball. And look at this. We're living the safe route, fellas. You got to start attacking the defense. Yeah, you're going to have great numbers if you just throw the 5 and 7 yarders. You got to go over to 15 to 20, start making that defense run with the defenders.
Krantz Clemens was the only defensive back for Calgary that he beat deep. Moss throwing across midfield. Holmes has the catch, and he'll be shy of the first down. Chapman right there, step for step in the secondary for Calgary.
Well, what great concentration by Corey Holmes as he had Chapman all over him. Coverage was right there. Just going to leak out and come across the field. As he comes underneath, you can see Chapman's right there. Tries to get his hand on the ball, but Corey Holmes, great concentration, looking that ball in and securing it.
It's a gain of 8, one shy of the first down. 3rd and 1 in a punt situation to open the second half for this Hamilton offense. Kenyon Rambo is the lone Stampeder back at his own 24. Nick Setta, the rookie out of Notre Dame, with another high booming punt with the hang time to the 20. Rambo surrounded by the cover team, and Ray Mariuz makes the tackle for the Tiger Cats.
And Setta is doing a fantastic job of putting the ball in the corner close to the sideline, allowing the cover team to come down and take away any potential break to the outside. So we take a look at Henry Burris's passing yards in the first half. A little deeper, you can see he's spending a little bit more time in the 10 to 20 yard zone. Attempted one deep ball, fell incomplete. But I've loved a lot of things. What this chart doesn't show you is what Henry Burris has done on the ground. He's actually rushed for 63 yards himself in the first half.
Burris has gone after the rookie corner Dwight Anderson in that first half. Bunch formation, play action. Burris rolling wide side. It's wide open. He's got Nick Lewis to help with the block. Gets some help from Brett Ralph and scoots out of bounds at the Stampeder bench for a Calgary first down and a gain of 23 yards.
Now, just as I mentioned, the fact that Henry Burris can beat you with his legs, he does exactly that. Little fake play action, secures the ball, gets to the outside. There's absolutely no contain by that front side defensive end of the Ticats, and that's just a run in the park right there for Henry Burris.
Pickup of 23. First down Stampeders at their 48. 3 receivers wide side. Burris straight back, throwing to the short side. And Ryan Thelwell, the intended receiver, it's incomplete. And he loses his helmet as Lawrence Gordon, the sophomore corner out of Florida Atlantic, stripped him.
Well, the ball was thrown, or flag, excuse me, was thrown in the middle of the field. It looks like it's going to be against the Stampeders.
And Thelwell had the ball go right through his hands.
Number 94, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
So it'll be first down repeated. 20 yards to go now. And the holding call to Jeff Pelon, the right tackle, will march the Stamps back 10. First down at their own 38. Bo Richter out of the backfield now. 6 receivers set. Down the seam. Wide open. Kenyon Rambo at full speed ahead. And he's caught from behind. Rambo down the seam deep for the Stamps.
We talked about the fact early in the show today that the Stampeders closed their practice 3 days this week. They were working on certain specific offensive formations they felt could exploit the Ticat defense. This time they have Bo Richter in the backfield. That's 6 receivers set when they go outside, but as Rambo just busts down the seam, he's wide open. There's nobody, of course. Dwight Anderson brings him down. Wayne Shaw and Chase, but that's a big play, and they just get a mismatch.
Big indeed, a 58-yard pass and run to Rambo as they scorch the rookie Anderson again. First down, Calgary at the 14. Play action, great fake. Burris now tries to get away and heads upfield. And he's dragged down Howard Hodges, the rookie defensive end out of Iowa, making the tackle, Kahari.
And guys, what happens when you put 6 receivers back there like the Calgary Stampeders are doing? You put the Hamilton Tiger-Cats linebackers in a position that they are not used to, and that is a cover position. As you see here, the run, they're mixing it up really well, but when these Calgary Stampeders go to 6 receivers, Hamilton has no answer so far.
And Kahari used to call it the weak caribou. Are they going after Anderson in your mind?
Hey, you got to go after that guy. Hey, if he's the guy that you've deemed the weak caribou, you got to go after him.
2nd and 4, ball at the 8. Burris back to pass, throwing to the end zone. Touchdown, Rob Cote. The rookie has his first CFL touchdown. Rob Cote, the kid out of Canadian junior football, the Victoria Rebels, who came to Calgary this year to training camp thinking he'd get some experience and then play for the Colts in junior ball, and lo and behold, he made the big team.
Well, we talked about it, how he gave up a tooth. He sacrificed a tooth, getting it knocked out of his mouth by Tony Bua on a pass blocking drill. Got up, put his helmet on. The coach said, we like this kid. Well, look at him right there, celebrating his first touchdown. Just swings out of the backfield and nobody picks him up.
The point after is good. And Cote, the kid from Cochrane High School, celebrates at McMahon his first CFL touchdown.
Courtesy of Rogers. There in the air after every Stampede touchdown. Rogers mini football. The Scotiabank Community Clip.
This past offseason, your Stampeders once again visited Calgary and area junior high schools to shoot some hoops. Every year, Stampeder players look forward to the Stampeder basketball program as an opportunity to partake in some friendly competition and interaction with many of their biggest fans.
I'll take it also.
The program's been
How long was that catch to ramble?
58.
Thank you.
For more information on the Stampeder off-season basketball program or to invite the Stamps to your school in 2008, contact the Stampeder One team, one goal.
Rob Cote and his Cinderella story from training camp to the regular season continues.
Well, here's Rob Cote. Now here's the guy that's got to cover him. That's Moreno. Now watch as we go. Cote's just going to slide out to the flat. He gets a couple steps, and then once he gets past Moreno, Moreno's got his back to the ball. He's never going to win that challenge. Cote sees the ball all the way. Easy touchdown, easy throw.
Cote wearing the glass slipper tonight at home in McMahon Stadium as the Stamps open a 24-6 lead. A short kick to the 30, and it's Corey Holmes missing the first man. A missile there, and he's upfield for another 13, maybe 14 yards on the play before Brian Clark makes the tackle, and now there's some late flags around the ball. Trey Young in the vicinity, and boy, he's a tough-nosed safety, one of the toughest hitters on this Calgary defense.
Well, the University of Montana product loves to put his helmet in there, make a statement.
Ken Lazarick marshaling the proceedings here tonight in Calgary, sorting out the flag.
Come on, man.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 39, 15-yard penalty applied from the point where the ball carrier went out of bounds. First down.
So Augie Baranachia, the penalty for the Cats, and they'll have tough field position here on first down at their own 27-yard line. Moss spreading his receivers 3 wide, 2 to the short, keeping Lumsden in the backfield. Straight back out of the shotgun, throwing deep downfield to the sidelines. Nate Curry diving, and it's incomplete. And Krantz Clemens had leverage on that play, Chris.
Krantz Clemens had leverage, but he also kept the receiver to the outside on the sideline. That ball just a little overthrown to the intended receiver.
Down to the sidelines, and here's Brendan.
Well, Hamilton GM Marcel Desjardins certainly has been a busy guy. Close to 25 new faces in this lineup. When do you think you're going to be able to realize or understand the true potential of this team?
Well, it'll take time. I mean, we have a lot of young guys, not only in age, but also in experience in the league. So it'll take time, but I think training camp was a good process for everybody. And, you know, give us a good couple of weeks here, and guys will start getting on the same page.
Well, 12-year veterans Mike Morale, Rob Hitchcock were released. How well do you think you did at replacing that veteran leadership?
Well, I mean, it wasn't a question of the leadership that we had to replace. It was a question of trying to maintain a status quo as it related to quality Canadian content. We didn't want to have to release some younger Canadian players who we thought had a lot of upside and a lot of years ahead of them. So, you know, that was the equation in making that decision.
Marcel, good luck this season.
Thank you.
Let's go back upstairs now.
Brenda, Charlie Taft told us yesterday, he said it broke our hearts to have to release the 12-year veterans, Mike Morreale and Rob Hitchcock, but with so many promising young Canadians, they didn't want to let those guys get away. The average age of this Ticat team coming into this game is 26. 2nd and 15. Clark blitzing, and they've got him. Moss steamrolled for a huge loss in the sack as Terrence Patrick, with some help from Brian Clark, comes up the middle.
Well, that just opened up like the Red Sea. I mean, he just comes in there and he beats one step to the outside and he comes back inside on Jonathan Woodward, the veteran left tackle, and just beats him clean right to the quarterback. Got to block better. Always make the defender take the long route. Make him beat you if he's going to do anything to the outside.
Well, the old man from Hofstra, Brian Clark, having a top-notch season opener here in Calgary as Seta kicks from his goal line. Not as much hang time here. Rambo at center field. Rambo bellying back, giving up 5 more, and Dwight Anderson right there on punt cover for a loss of 5 on the return by Rambo.
Of Bow Valley College. Chris is off to a lead. She was, and now the boys are ahead. Chris gets to his marker first. Mark right by Chris is out to cross.
Well, I mean, what do you want me to do? Look like
this way, Mark? Yeah, good.
Are we there? Better?
Mic'd Up, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
More of a press look, and then drop back.
You should be the winner of the stylish 7-megapixel Pentax camera. If you are in section D.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary, and we've got a special guest in the booth here tonight. Is the new commissioner of the Canadian Football League. Mark Cohan is paying a visit here to Calgary. My golf partner from a couple of weeks ago, I'll tell you what, he's got one heck of a Happy Gilmore drive.
If I got one thing good, it's my Happy Gilmore.
Straight and narrow. Listen, Mark, you've been all over the CFL this weekend, your first weekend as commissioner in the regular season. Where have you been? What have you seen? What do you like?
It's been great. I've been in Toronto. I've been in Montreal, now here in Calgary. Next week I go to Winnipeg, Vancouver, Regina, and it's been great. I mean, it's a very exciting time for the league.
Burris with an incomplete pass there on first down. Chris, you had a question for the commission.
I would just want, he signed a 5-year deal. I wanted to know if there's one thing that you wanted to get instituted during your term, something really dear to your heart that you feel the CFL really needs now.
You know, the one thing I'm really thinking about is the next generation. So we got to get young kids continue to play the game. You know, get fathers bringing their kids to the ballpark, you know, to the stadium, and that's what's most important, I think.
Mark, you've made the new salary cap a key plank in your 5-year plan for this league, and Robert Wetnall, the new owner of the Montreal Alouettes, was saying this week that he wants to renegotiate. What do you make of that?
I'm fine with Robert. I mean, we talk all the time. I talk to all the governors. Listen, we're going to institute it this year. We're going to continue to, and we're going to listen to the governors. And if there's changes that need to be made, we'll hear them out. But you know, I think all is quiet on the home front right now.
But no negotiations this year.
You know, it will be based upon everyone adhering to it this year.
Well, good to have you on board and up here in the booth, and good luck in your first season at the helm here at the CFL.
Thanks, guys.
Pleasure to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Mark Cohan, the new commissioner of the Canadian Football League, here in Calgary tonight. 2nd and 10 for the Stampeders. Terrific field position. The ball just across their own 51-yard line. Zach Moreno, the rookie middle linebacker, has had his hands full this evening. Burris back to pass, 6 receivers downfield. He's throwing down the middle, reaching up is Rambo, and he can't bring it in with a one-handed attempt.
Well, that ball just slightly overthrown, but Rambo again getting between the defenders, and what a bullet thrown by Henry Burris. Takes a little bit off that, and that's a big completion, the second big one to Kenyon Rambo. Look at how he goes down, gets one hand down on it. Well, I tell you, they're really going deep, something we wanted Hamilton to do. Calgary's doing.
What'd you see, Kahari?
Just see like Chris said, I see them really opening up on the Calgary side of things. They're feeling more comfortable with this offense. As a result, when you feel comfortable, you start going downfield and good things start to happen.
Burke Dales gets it away, an end-over-end punt. The JoJo Walker, and he's pulled down in his tracks. No chance. As the newcomer, Brandon Browner, the rookie who took Kobe Reinhardt's job away at that short side corner, makes a big special teams tackle. He's 6'4", 220, the rookie out of Oregon State, and he has displaced a CFL All-Star in Reinhardt.
You know what, Mark? We may want to watch him, and he's been quiet. We haven't seen, as you say, the Hamilton Ticats have not really thrown to their wide receiver. So, you know, Brendan Browner has been kind of quiet tonight, but we were anticipating, we wanted to watch him, see what kind of cover guy is. As you say, to upseat a CFL All-Star in Reinhardt must be something special.
Well, clearly Moss is wary of Browner and his early preseason reputation. He took Matt Dominguez, the big receiver from Saskatchewan, down with a wallop in the preseason. And after starting this season at short side corner, he's drawing a lot of attention as the clubhouse leader for Rookie of the Year. We'll see what he does over the course of 18 games. 1st and 10, Moss hits pass to the wide side. Corey Holmes heads upfield. Scott Coe helping out on the tackle with Trey Young, and Trey Young is wearing the microphone tonight.
Mic'd Up, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
More of a press look and then drop back into your regular forward coverage.
That was a heavy week. So the corner block, and then we're playing a cover, but you're down fast. You got to cover.
Trey Young, the soft-spoken safety in that Calgary secondary, walks softly but carries a big stick, and he hit. Here's Radlin out of the backfield for the Tiger Cats. Chapman makes the tackle for Calgary. And they'll move the sticks to the 40.
The first time they've gone back to that play where they swing pass it out to Julian Radlin. They did it in the first quarter. He picked up 37 yards. You thought maybe they come back to that a little bit more often, but again, they go to him on this play and he picks up the first down.
Jason Moss, good on 12 of 18 attempts so far tonight for 126 yards. Decent percentage, but not really threatening that secondary.
126 yards tells you that right there.
First down at the 40. Moss, play action, back to pass under pressure, throws it away. It's complete to Lumsden, who comes back for the ball. Lumsden now with some speed outside, puts his head down as Trey Young, or check that, Krantz Clemens comes in to make the tackle.
Well, first off, nice job of catching the ball by Jesse Lumsden, but the wrong thing is you have to hit him first before you let him come through. It is called a hit and release. So Lumsden is to hit the defender, let him in slowly, then go back and get the ball. That time he let the defender right in, and Jason Moss paid it for his mistake.
Did you see the way Lumsden ran away from Jermaine Chapman? Good speed for the Canadian out of McMaster.
Well, if he makes those kind of mistakes, he'll be running like that away from Charlie Taft.
2nd and 3. Moss, short drop, look in. It's complete, and JoJo Walker has a Hamilton first down.
And a little bit of a different offensive scheme. We saw the flat patterns, throwing it to the sidelines. Now they're trying to run a little bit of slant, vertical slants, a little deeper up the field, and they're finding some success.
Walker out of the University of Maryland, and a member of that offense run by Charlie Taft over the last few years as we go back to the sidelines. And here's Kahari.
One thing I'm seeing is Charlie Taft is giving Jason Moss the opportunity to throw more than one ball at a time. He's not using the running game all that much, and that's only going to help him get into a rhythm later on, not just this game, but in the season.
Lumsden out of the shotgun on the draw, and a first down for the Tiger Cats.
That is a great job of hitting the hole. One of the things they try and teach as a running back is don't do that little stutter step and back and forth. You see Scott Coe, the MAC linebacker, he reads to the right. By the time he comes to left, he makes the play, but not before Jesse Lumsden picks up a first down.
Charlie Taft back in Calgary. The last time he was in this stadium was his last game in the CFL back in 2000 in a bitter 28-26 loss to the BC Lions. He's made massive changes to this Ticat team. Win respectability in Hamilton. Moss again, a quick shot to Corey Dickerson, the backup fullback. He's a big man at 6'4", 240 in his 2nd season out of USC.
Well, and it's a simple game plan right now. What they're doing on that play is Nate Curry, the wide receiver, is running deep down the field, and they're just bringing Dickerson underneath. And hopefully the wide receiver, Curry, will clear some open area for him. And Dickerson made the catch, but Not a first down, but picked up 4 yards, something positive.
6 to go.
Dickerson played 4 games for the Stampeders in 2005. Moss handing off. Lumsden with a good head of steam and a straight arm and forced out of bounds at the 25. And it's Bannister again.
One of the things I like about Neil, or Jesse Lumsden, I keep calling him by his dad. I used to play against his dad so many years, but great job of changing direction. From a man that runs so straight up and down, you wouldn't think he'd have that. I mean, he's an up and down runner. He doesn't get very low, but great change of direction and bust to the outside.
Jesse Lumsden with tryouts the last 2 years in the NFL in Washington and Seattle. The CIS single season rushing record at McMaster of over 1,800 yards in 8 games. Across the middle, incomplete. That looked like a bit of interference on Arsenault. And Shannon James was the coverage man there for Calgary. Jesse Lumsden carrying the mail for Hamilton to start the season, and this is the way he's moved.
Well, you know, interesting. Sean Millington said at halftime that he thought he was predominantly running to the right. We see 5 to 35 to the right, 3 for 7 up the middle, but there's nothing over the left side. You wonder if that's got to change. You start getting keys on him when they start studying the film.
The only Canadian tailback in the CFL this season. 2nd and 10 against the blitz. Screen pass, Lumsden high-stepping hard across the 18-yard line. And Jermaine Chapman brings this tough-to-tackle Canadian down. A little smile there as he exchanges some pleasantries in that Calgary defense.
And even though they didn't pick up first down up and the field goal team will come on, I see a little bit more pep in the step of the Ticat offense. Jason Moss is a little comfortable back there, delivering the ball quick pre-snap reads. They're running slant patterns, doing little swing passes, little shovel passes, getting Lumsden the ball. That's a nice job of moving it around and moving it down the field, at least getting an opportunity to get some points. There you see, offensive. He says he's not the offensive coordinator, but he's calling the plays.
Charlie Taft comparing notes after the last drive, again stalling the 3rd consecutive drive inside the Calgary 20, resulting in a field goal attempt. From the 25-yard line, Timmy Chang to hold for Nick Seta, and Seta is good. Nick Seta, the rookie out of Chicago, 3 for 3 on opening night in the CFL on CBC.
It's now time for the ultimate.
Mic'd Up, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
Come on, rough! You can get away with it.
Great night for some football.
Tonight's lucky 50-50 draw number is 39944. 39944. As you can see, it's worth over $17,000. The winner has 15 minutes to claim the prize from the Stampeder Administration Office, South End Zone.
Ticats' longest drive of the game, 10 plays and 5:51 off the clock, results in their 3rd field goal as they continue to trail. Let's check in with Trey Young wearing the mic again tonight.
Mic'd Up, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
Come on, rough!
Great night for some football.
Sounds of combat in the Calgary defense. Trey Young wearing the mic tonight. In the CFL on CBC, Joffrey Reynolds, tough sledding, and Tay Cody, the diminutive halfback in the secondary for the Ticats, who packs a wallop.
Well, Tay Cody is one of these guys that comes up and makes you pay every time you got the ball. Remember, he's the one that put Milt Stiegel out last year with that great hit and cracked Milt's ribs. Congratulations to Milt Stiegel, by the way, for tying the all-time CFL record for touchdowns.
An old Blue Bomber would be remiss if he didn't congratulate the old teammate. 2nd and 4 for Burris and the Stamps to the wide side, and it's complete. Brett Ralph will have a Calgary first down. You mentioned the Tay Cody hit on Milt Stiegel. Let's cue it up.
Well, you can really punish people when they come in a zone.
Oh, we got the Stiegel touchdown, the 137, tie the record with Pringle and Reed.
Milt says that ball that he tied the record with, he's going to give to the football club. But when he breaks the record, that's for him and his family.
He'll keep that one.
He's going to keep that ball, and rightly so.
24-9, Calgary with the lead. 1:47 to go here in the third quarter.
After the play, we have a major foul, Calgary number 11. Major foul, Hamilton number 20. They're offsetting penalties. First down had been made.
So Brett Ralph made the catch for the first down, and the penalties will cancel each other out. Didn't like that little shot there. And it's Dwight Anderson again, the rookie corner that they keep picking on here. 1st and 10, Burris straight back to pass. And he's caught. Joanne Armour, the blitzing Sam linebacker for the Tiger Cats, and his first sack of the new season.
Well, it's a great job. If you're going to blitz, you know that Henry Burris has made him pay by finding a spot to bust up the middle. Take a look at Bobby Singh. He just slides out too far and he can't pick up the blitzing Armour, and that's the result is a sack.
One of the things that we're seeing with this Calgary Stampeder team is that you knew there weren't going to be enough balls to go around, and Joffrey Reynolds looks like the odd man out in this game. He hasn't gotten too many carries, but they're going to really test this one concept with all the talent that they have on this team.
A lot of talent, just one football, Kahari. 2nd and 14. Burris with a bullet. It's complete to Kenyon Rambo, and he's high-stepping across the 45 for a big Calgary first down.
Well, Carl, you're absolutely right. Joffrey Reynolds basically a decoy today, 5 carries. But, I mean, it's hard not to argue with the success that they're having in this offense. They got a little zone coverage right there. They just find the openings, and I tell you what, just sits down. Kenyon Rambo being a favorite target this evening for Henry Burris.
Well, this flashy Calgary offense has had to check its ego at the door. Rambo with 3 catches tonight. The feature receiver, 93 yards for the Stampeders. And an injured Tiger Cat as Chris Puskas, the Hamilton trainer, was out on the field to attend.
Mark, you talked about it earlier about the fact that the receivers are working with the quarterbacks, and they want the receivers to understand exactly what the quarterback sees on any given play, so they know exactly what, when they're running their route, exactly what Henry's thinking, and that works together well. And Henry's been making quick decisions and getting the ball to the right receiver.
Okay. And guys, the more knowledge your receivers have of the offense, the better that your team is going to be, because those receivers know where they can sit in zone, when they have to run through a route to open another man up, and that can only be an advantage for your offense.
Roger Dunbrack in for the injured J.P. Bakaziak, the rookie out of Toledo, the Windsor native, who on the same weekend he found out he'd made the Ticat team as a rookie, got engaged to his high school sweetheart. Terrific weekend for him, and we hope he's not too badly injured as he heads to the Hamilton sideline. First down, 4 receivers, Calgary to the wide side. That's where Burris is throwing to the far sideline. Copeland comes back. No, he made the catch, but he's out of bounds. Richard Kari, the defender for the Tiger Cats on the play.
Well, they've gone after Richard Kari early in the first half. He's played very well in the second half, and again they go after Jermaine Copeland against Kari, but nice job of getting it.
And that is the final play of the third quarter. Calgary Stampeders 24, Hamilton Tiger Cats 9.
It's now time for the Transat Holidays final flight. We're here in the North End for tonight's contestant Bill, who's been a season ticket holder since back in the Moana days. He's got 30 seconds to find the Transat Holidays ticket jacket to win a trip or two to Runaway Jamaica, including 7 nights accommodation at the 5-star Royal Golden Grand Bahia Principe, all courtesy of Transat Holidays. You guys know how it works. We need your help as traffic controllers. The closer.
We're at the three-quarter pole here at McMahon Stadium in Calgary, and it's all Stampeders, 24-9 as we head to the fourth. And Chris, this was very close to being a catch.
Well, you have to get 1 foot down, but there's, you see, he's watching. He's trying to see if his foot's in there.
It looked in.
He determined that he dragged it on the line.
No challenge, though, by the Stamps. Burris, quarterback draw, and Renard Cox read that quickly, making the tackle from the linebacker position. Another look at the catch or no catch in this case by Jermaine Copeland, Chris.
Well, the official is right on the sideline as he goes down. There's 36. You see him right there. Now you see the foot. This is what he's got to look. That's got to come inside the line. Does he drag it over the line as he comes down? He's got possession. That's one of the things he has to have. That's secured. Not even a problem there. Does the foot come down in bounds? Almost looks like it does on that replay there, Mark.
But Ian Bain, the side judge, as you mentioned, was in great position, and that was just slightly below the frame. Here's Sandro DeAngelis with his second field goal attempt of the game. Long distance from the 48. DeAngelis hammers it, a line drive. It's good. The CFL's leading scorer and kicker from last season opens the new campaign with a 48-yarder, his second in 2 attempts. And while we have a moment, Chris, let's check the statistics through 3 quarters.
Well, you can take a look at the passing yards favoring the Stampeders. Always the big play in that third quarter was the Victoria Rebel, Rob Cote, getting his first touchdown in the CFL. A little swing pass.
A great story he has been so far.
A couple of big catches by Kenyon Rambo also. I mean, they're really going down the field attacking the secondary of the Ticats.
Rambo, the deep threat, 3 for 93 through the airwaves here tonight for Calgary. Moss. First down against the blitz. Gets the ball away and a look in, and it's complete to Richard Alston. And his first catch of the football game, the former Edmonton Eskimo, now playing for the Tiger Cats.
And I'm almost wondering if it's a bit of a confidence issue, because it sure looks to me that Jason Moss is getting a little bit more zip on that ball when he's throwing it downfield. Granted, it's only 10 yards, but he seems to have a lot more zip on that ball, and it's right where it has to be.
Moss saying yesterday, I like my receivers, I like them all, they're quality players, I'm not worried about inexperience because they're so well coached. But he did say learning this West Coast offense has been difficult. And a fumble on the snap, and the Stampeders have it. Garzulio, the rookie out of Dartmouth, recovering for the Stamps.
Well, the second big turnover by the Ticat offense, the first one in the first half, the Brockwell fumble in the end zone that was recovered by Jermaine Chapman, and this one, just a bad exchange. Just doesn't get it. Takes his eyes off the ball as he's looking at the defenders. Ball squirts loose, and Stampeders are going to get great field position.
The Tiger Cats had 61 turnovers last season in a league worst, -25 in the giveaway takeaway category. That one occurring on the exchange between the quarterback Moss and his setter Marwan Hage. First down, Stamps in a bunch formation, and a pitch out to Reynolds to the wide side. Reynolds gets a lead block against Kari. A great block indeed from the fullback, Gerald Kamashong.
Kamashong, the rookie out of Stanford, they really like this guy. Just a nice job of pulling around, lead block, blocking him to the outside. Carey gets knocked outside. That gives Reynolds a little seam to bust it back inside.
And Dwight Anderson is the injured Tiger Cat. You could see at the end of that tackle, he just got steamrolled on the play. And he's still on the field. We'll check on him when we come back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary.
It's now time for the Classic Rock Q107 Stampeder Outriders.
Goldwell is the official hair product supplier at Queens of Kensington, the official hair salon of the Classic Rock Q107 Outriders. Skechers is pleased to support the Classic Rock Q107 Outriders.
Another look at that injury to Anderson.
You can see there he is right there, but look at Moreno. Watch as he comes through. He actually hits Anderson, and watch Anderson as he goes down the head, hits hard on the turf. Helmet comes off, gets rolled on a little bit.
So Anderson having a tough night, and there's Dr. Dave Levy, the Tiger Cat physician, trying to see if everything's okay. And another rookie, Michael Roberts, comes into the game, the first-year man out of Ohio State Canadian, on the corner. Will they go after him? Burris goes to the short side on a swing pass to Joffrey Reynolds, and a short gain on the play for Reynolds. And in the stands here tonight, the former Tiger Cat 12-year veteran, Rob Hitchcock, here in Calgary on business, and you know he's feeling his team's pain and still dealing with his release in training camp, along with Mike Morielli, a man who led the Ticats last year, Chris Walby, with 23 special teams tackles, second overall in the CFL.
Well, one of the real heroes and leaders of that locker room, who did not anticipate that he'd be released and still wants to play, but hasn't, just going to take some time off and think about it.
First and 10. Stampeders at the Hamilton 22. A big gaping hole for Joffrey Reynolds, and a first down. Oh, he had daylight for 10 yards and then drove the pile.
Well, the offensive line of the Stampeders is starting to take charge of this football game in the fourth quarter. Watch the left side. They just do a wonderful job of opening up a hole. The fullback kicks out, and Joffrey Reynolds takes advantage.
scheme is going to give anybody problems. I mean, who do you key on this offense? You can't key on Joffrey Reynolds because then the receivers will kill you, and vice versa. It's going to be tough for defenses to handle it throughout the season.
Yeah, it's pick your poison, isn't it, Kahari?
It really is.
On the ground again, Joffrey Reynolds with vigor to the goal line, and Tay Cody, the halfback at 5'9", 180, the little guy, makes the tackle.
What makes it? It's exact same play. They're just going to run a little bit of a bunch formation and then bring it back to that side. It's just like having 3 tight ends on that wide side of the football field. He breaks it down to the 1-yard line before Tay Cody brings him down, and I'd be very surprised if this wasn't a quarterback seek by Burris. Or do you reward Reynolds because he did the bulk of the work getting down here and just hand it off and blow it in the end zone?
The ball is spotted at the Hamilton 1-yard line, and a challenge flag has been thrown from the Hamilton bench.
Hamilton.
Was there a fumble? Did he put the ball on the ground? That would be the only thing I can think of right now.
At the bottom of that pile, perhaps, as Charlie Taff makes the challenge. Ball is loose. It looked like Reynolds hit the ground with his shoulder. Let's see. There's knees in the air.
It's challenging, saying that the ball came out before he was down by contact.
It looked like he was down, Chris.
Mark, to me, it looked like he was down as well as he's reaching forward the ball, and that's when the ball came loose.
But good use of the challenge by Charlie Taff.
Well, you know what? You always got an opportunity. It's a 50-50 thing. You take a chance sometime, maybe you get a ruling to go in your favor, but I don't believe it was put on the ground by Reynolds. Take another look. He's just going to cut it back and straight up. As he goes down, his body's down. He's still got the ball, and then it comes loose. You can see late. There's a better angle at it.
No, the knee's down first, for sure.
Yeah.
The Stampeders have been 100% in the green zone or red zone, the score zone inside the 20. They are 2 for 2 for touchdowns inside the 20 here, and they are 2nd and goal from the 1 now.
And one of the things that Coach Higgins stressed this year was they had to take advantage of the score zone, and they didn't do that last year. They settled for a lot of DeAngelis field goals. Felt to be a better team, we need to put touchdowns on instead of settling for field goals.
Yes, they settled for 56 DeAngelis field goals. Number 1 in that category as Taff awaits the outcome, and it's a swift decision as Ken Lazarick is back.
After reviewing the play, player was down by contact. Play stands as it is.
So the Stamps will have possession at the 1-yard line as Charlie Taff loses his challenge.
He's 0-1 in the challenge department.
Kari?
What I see from Hamilton is that it is very hard to erase the past. I mean, both offensively and defensively, they're looking a lot like last year. It's going to take a lot more than a new coach and a facelift of a few players to change this team around.
Pitch out, 2nd and 1 from the goal line, touchdown, Joffrey Reynolds, and flags on the play. In a misdirection pitch that fooled the Ticat defense.
Well, I love the call. What a great call by the Stampeders, completely fooling the Ticat defense.
Offside. Hamilton, number 99, declined.
And Jermaine Reed, the defensive tackle, 99, is offside, so the play will stand. And offensive coordinator George Cortez pulling another play out of his vast playbook. Little pitch out. And there's no one going to catch him as he gets outside of the cover guy, the outside guy.
Joffrey Reynolds scampering in a 1-yard scoring play. And 14 points now for Calgary off Hamilton turnovers. The point after is good. And the Stampeders have turned it into a rout, 34-9. That's what I said. Joffrey Reynolds led the Stampeders with 9 rushing touchdowns last season. He's got his first of the new campaign, Chris.
Well, it's all misdirection. Watch Nick Lewis come around for the fake and watch how the defense all goes inside. We're going to run it a little bit. Now freeze it there, guys. Now take a look at, I talked about the direction. And look at this. There's nobody to the outside when they pitch the ball to Joffrey Reynolds. He's outside, the last guy that can get him. Nice play. Way to use Nick Lewis.
JoJo Walker to the 5-yard line on the return to the near sideline, and he's hammered Trey Young, the first man in. And a quarterback change coming for the Tiger Cats. It looks like Jason Moss is coming out. Yes, the backup, Timmy Chang, the star out of the University of Hawaii, who set an NCAA Division 1A record during his seasons there, breaking the all-time yards passing mark set by Ty Detmer, over 17,000 yards passing during his career at Hawaii. And he's getting a chance here with less than 10 minutes to go, and Moss pulled.
Well, I think it's a great decision, especially when, you know, the Stamps got the big lead right now. Let's see what he can do.
Chang had a terrific preseason and getting a shot here for the first time for real. He throws a screen pass to Jesse Lumsden, and Lumsden bounces outside down the sideline. A straight arm to Bannister, still going, and Bannister finally hog ties him, but not until Lumsden rumbles near to the 35-yard line. A 51-yard pass and run on Timmy Chang's first throw in the CFL.
Well, that's exactly what you want to do. Something simple right now, just a little screen pass to the flat, and of course Lumsden does the rest. Great speed, and it's nice to see there's a little fight left in this dog.
Timmy Chang ran the run and shoot at Hawaii, very similar to the kind of thing he's running in the West Coast offense under June Jones. He's a seam passer. He is perfectly suited to the CFL, and he's picked up this game rather quickly in training camp. Under fire now. 4-man rush, bouncing outside. Chang wants to throw deep. It's hanging up. Jump ball, Brock Ralph can't bring it down, but there's a flag at the 12.
All over the field.
Jermaine Chapman was the defensive back in coverage. The ball hung up, Chris.
Well, and as he went outside, the nice thing that Timmy Chang gives you is he's got some athleticism. He gets get outside the rush. But that flag was thrown in the backfield, which usually indicates a holding against the offense. We'll see if it goes that way.
Second time on this first weekend of the CFL, we see a veteran pulled in the opening game. The Argonauts taking Damon Allen out and replacing him with Michael Bishop. And now the veteran Jason Moss has been pulled here in the fourth quarter for backup Timmy Chang. Here's the call from Ken Lazaruk.
Holding Hamilton, number 59. Forward pass interference, Calgary, number 2. Offsetting penalties. Repeat first down.
So Jerome Davis, the former Argo at right tackle, had the holding call, and Jermaine Chapman the interference.
Well, he's right at the top of your screen. He just gets the hands to the outside, and he keeps the clamp on as Timmy Chang gets to the outside. It's a great call. And then, of course, right here, they're fighting for the football, and he goes over the top of the intended receiver.
First down repeated for the Tiger Cats. 10 to go at the 37 of Calgary. Here comes the Stampeder blitz. Chang, quick drop, and a completion across the middle. JoJo Walker has it for the Tiger Cats, and another first down.
Boy, you gotta like the way this kid sits in there. He sits back there, gets the ball, and the head is like all over the place. He's got 1, 2, 3 read. There it is over the middle, ball right on the money. Gets it to the receiver quickly. JoJo Walker picks up a first down.
Chang has the quick feet, the bouncing drop back, and then the quick release. Against that Calgary blitz, and a completion, a gain of 16 to JoJo Walker. First down at the Calgary 21. In the shotgun with 3 receivers to the wide side. Lumsden in the backfield. He gets the handoff out of the shotgun. Lumsden breaks one tackle. Hard to bring down, fighting for yards across the 18-yard line. And Tony Bua and Cornelius Anthony tag team Lumsden.
Well, they tag team Lumsden, but I like again the fact that look at him secure that ball. That's great. Getting two hands on that football, not allowing it to be stripped.
And guys, down here on the sidelines, it's funny what a quarterback change can do. The Hamilton Tiger Cats look like a totally different offense with Timmy Chang in the game. They have pep in their step, and it can only be a good thing in the future.
This will be very interesting as Chang leads the march, and Chris Getzlaff, the rookie out of the University of Regina, is into the football game now. Play whistled before they could get it off.
And Mark, one of the things,
the officials called their own timeout there just to set things straight, and they'll get it started. 2nd and 7 from the 18.
And one of the things I like so far is Timmy Chang is barking orders to the receivers and backs, putting them in the right spot, which means he does know this offense.
Look at Chang pointing to the Calgary defense, calling the signals in a 4-step shotgun. A high snap, back to pass, looking across the middle. It's complete. Brock Ralph and a diving catch at the 5. And this Timmy Chang has got poise and accuracy.
Well, accuracy, absolutely. He sits back there. He's very poised. As you said, yeah, he's hit all the passing records NCAA at the University of Hawaii in his 5 years there. Threw for over 117 touchdowns. But right now, he's a rookie in his league. A lot of guys that come from the States can't read that 12th man. They have trouble with that. Look at that, right on the money.
A bullet across the middle. Chang 3 for 3 on his opening CFL series for 81 yards. And 1st and goal, Tiger Cats from the Calgary 4-yard line. Chang again directing traffic up under the center. Marwin Hage. Straight back to pass. A flag on the play. Chang throwing the corner. Touchdown. Brock Ralph has it for the Tiger Cats, but a flag on the play.
Usually it's on that corner. They might be calling a rubber, a pick play.
Ralph, number 80 with the Cats, if it stands.
Looks like it's coming back. I don't see the jubilation being shown by the Ti-Cat players.
Here's Lazaruk with the call.
Offside, Hamilton, number 80, 5-yard penalty.
Brock Ralph
1st down repeated.
nullified his own touchdown.
Just an awful way. I mean, you'll see the disgust. He's just down here at the bottom. He just leaves. He tries to catch it. Yeah, good call.
Yep.
He tried to anticipate. And that happens when you get a quarterback change. You have to try and anticipate the new cadence by a different quarterback, and he just ill-timed that.
Penalties killing the Ti-Cats tonight. They'll move it back 5. 1st down repeated. 1st and goal now from the 9. Again, Chang pointing out the defense to his backs and receivers. Here comes the Calgary blitz. They're after him. He's rolling now. He's got daylight. Now he'll throw to the end zone. Incomplete, but Chang could have run it in.
I actually thought on this occasion when he got outside and there was nothing there but him and the goal line that he would take off with the ball, because we know he's fleet of foot, but he thought he saw something there, trying to get the ball there. His first incompletion.
Jason Moss now in a supporting role, signaling the plays in from the Hamilton sideline. Look at this. He could have run, Chris.
Well, look when he gets around here. There's nothing right there. He could have took it in. I thought he would have, but he thought he saw something. He tried to lead the receiver, just a little too far in front.
Nate Curry, a diving effort, couldn't bring it in. Make it 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line. The Tiger Cats looking for their first touchdown of the football game. 3 times inside the Calgary 20, and they've had to settle for field goals. Chang now. And it's whistled dead with flags flying at the snap.
Well, you hope this isn't a time count.
Time count violation. Hamilton, number 7. And the penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
And Mark, that's one of the situations when a quarterback doesn't understand that when you're in the CFL, the 20-second clock can really catch you.
Chang going back to the sidelines. Charlie Taft relaying his instructions. The offensive coordinator, Mike Working, is in the booth here tonight at McMahon Stadium. A crowd of 29,103 for the home opener in the Stampeders. So with the penalty, 2nd down repeated. Now back to the 14-yard line. And Holmes now into the game at slot back. 2nd and goal from the 14. 4 receivers to the wide side. Stamps with a 4-man rush. Chang with time to the end zone. It's intercepted. Shannon James has it for the Stampeders and is still on his feet, pulled down at the 40-yard line. James with his first pick of the season, ending a promising opening drive for the rookie, Timmy Chang.
Today's winners will score a $100 gift certificate.
All right, Tim's got the chance to answer the following question correctly and win a $100 gift certificate to Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. And he'll be invited back to the final stamp trophy and try to win a $4,000 Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries gift certificate. Here's your question. On the minute to the fourth quarter, quarterback Henry Burris takes the snap, drops back, and what happens next? Was the A
Mic'd Up, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's most reliable wire.
Y'all getting bored of me up there yet?
Hey, what?
Y'all getting bored of me? Y'all getting bored?
No.
Trying to bring some action to y'all.
All right, let's have a look at the Jumbotron. Burris takes the snap, throws up deep to Kenyon Randall for the touchdown. You got it, Tim. You got yourself one of those. We'll see you back here on October 27th for the final. Thank you very much.
It's cover 4, I think.
The official attendance tonight, 29,103. 29,103, the official attendance. The Calgary Stampeders, thank you for coming out, letting us
It all looked so easy until Chang got into the red zone and he throws his first CFL pick.
Well, he just didn't see one guy dropping a cover right there. That's the man that he didn't count for, and that's Shannon James, and they're trying to bring somebody behind him, and he just doesn't get enough height on that football. Easy catch for Shannon James.
Zone defense fooling the rookie quarterback out of Hawaii. Burris back to work, handing off on the ground, and Joffrey Reynolds breaking tackles, running roughshod up the middle of this Tiger Cat defense. Planning you to log on to cbcsports.ca and let us know your vote for Warrior of the Game. Player who played with grit, character, and pride here tonight. Warrior of the Game is brought to you by the all-new 2007 GMC Sierra. Professional grade, and Henry Burris has to warrant some votes tonight at the controls of this potent Calgary offense. And up they go for the first down, and it's the new fullback, Gerald Commichon.
Well, Mark, I would agree that Henry Burris should be one of the candidates, especially with all the heat he's been taking before he even stepped on the field this week. There was so much talk about Achilles Smith, the backup quarterback. He had to put that out of his mind and just play his game, and he's played a really nice game today.
He sure has. He's been under all kinds of pressure. I remember yesterday after their final practice, the pregame practice, he came off the field and everybody scrummed Achilles Smith. And Mark Bolrichter tried to sort of add some levity to the situation by saying, I thought you were the starter tomorrow, Henry. But he's let that slide off his shoulder, and he's come to play here tonight, running out the clock here in the fourth quarter with a ground game that's hard to stop. A 7-yard carry on the play. Joffrey Reynolds gets stronger as the game goes on, and he beats defenses up, doesn't he, Chris, late in the second half. We'll take a break. The 3-minute warning here in the fourth quarter, and it's all Calgary tonight, 34-9.
Representing the Calgary Colts in Madrid football, 10-2 according to Golden Field. Congratulations, John. At this time, Scott Agles representing the Calgary.
This is 16, right? I want to talk about that for the Cats.
What's up?
They averaged 16 points last year, and they averaged 27, so they're worse to start the season. But to be expected. Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things.
3 turnovers for
yes,
Cats?
3, yeah. And 14 points off those turnovers.
Yeah.
fans in the Pizza Hut family, so make some noise and get your roast from
Setta's
Pizza
got a
Hut
hammer.
For more information on the
It's
Pizza
tight
Hut
anyway.
family, go call the Stampeder ticket office.
We may have a quarterback controversy going into next week with Bishop and Timmy. Thanks for reminding me of that. We update our team.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I know what you're saying now.
1 week from tonight, we'll be at Iberwin Stadium in Hamilton as the Tiger Cats play their home opener with the Toronto Argonauts, looking for their first win of the season after an opening game loss to BC. Saturday, July 7th at 6:30 Eastern. And we may well have an interesting quarterback situation 1 week from tonight as Burris drops and rolls on the play action. Now he'll slide just across the 45-yard line stripe, but with Damon Allen pulled in the fourth quarter of the Toronto home opener and Mike Bishop being touted as the starter for week 2. In a similar situation in Hamilton, Jason Moss pulled in the fourth quarter for Timmy Changley. Starting quarterbacks, Chris, as we mentioned off the top of the broadcast, are on the hot seat tonight. Jason Moss had trouble in this new offense delivering as the starting quarterback. Henry Burris, on the other hand, has been full value. 34 points on the scoreboard for Calgary here tonight. 1st and 10, Stampeders. Bunch formation and a pitch to the wide side. Joffrey Reynolds with some blocks, cuts upfield, still on his feet, gets into the Hamilton secondary and gets hit out of bounds after getting the Calgary first down. And a chance now to update your game notes, Mr. Walby.
Well, let's take a look at these game notes. See how good we came. On offense, we said it was a battler. Cortez, that's offensive coordinator George Cortez. How is he going to distribute the football? Look at that, 176 rushing, 231 passing yards. Nice balance. On defense, the rookies must answer the bell. 6 rookies starting in the defense. Calgary receivers, 17 catches, 2 touchdowns.
George Cortez coming back to Calgary after a year in Saskatchewan and 3 previous years with Cal and Jeff Tedford. And his game plan has worked to perfection. Kamishong now, the fullback, rumbling for another Calgary first down. But Tom Higgins is so confident in his offensive coordinator, George Cortez. He said yesterday, we have an answer for everything the defense brings. Cortez tonight has certainly given the Ticat defense fits.
Well, I just like what they've done in the red zone. I mean, I love the misdirection. I love the fact they pull Nick Lewis as a decoy and they do a little pitch to Reynolds. They're pulling a lot of things out. The 6 receivers set with Bo Richter lining up in the backfield, going down the field, getting 2 big strikes to Kenyon Rambo. Exciting offense to watch.
Kamishong with a 16-yard gain, and they go back on the ground. Off tackle right. For a short gain by Rob Cote, the young junior out of Cochrane High School, who has his first CFL touchdown here tonight as we go back to Kahari on the sidelines.
And going back to Henry Burris, guys, I was really interested to see how he would respond to this game. He kind of went on the offensive a little bit with the reporters and media and everything, saying, hey, you guys want to blame me for all the bad stuff? Blame me for some of the good stuff that's happened here too. And it looked like he was letting it get to him a little bit, but as you can see, he's responded with flying colors.
Yeah, the first question he faced in the press conference yesterday, Kahari, was about feeling the hook and the pressure of Achilles Smith in behind him. Joffrey Reynolds is hit hard as he runs up the middle. Looked like Zeke Moreno, the middle linebacker, put a lick on him.
Zeke Moreno is a keeper. I think they really like him at that Mac linebacker position. He's tough. He's hard-nosed. Reminds me a little bit of Ben Zambiazzi, the old fearless Mac linebacker for the Ticats. Not afraid to lay a licking on some of those guys that come through that hole.
Well, he's been a bright spot on that defense in an otherwise unfortunate evening for the Tiger Cats. Chris, last year they averaged only 16 points in offense. Tonight they've got 9. They averaged giving up 27 points a game last year. They've given up 34. So it is a young team, 21 new faces. It's going to be a while before they get on the same page. And and hopefully get back to respectability in this league.
Well, I saw some positive things from the Ticats on offense. I thought they did some good things, except they don't throw the ball deep, and that just really handcuffs that offense. Timmy Chang came in. He did some good things, so hopefully they got something to build on.
DeAngelis 3 for 3 on the night, this time from the 14. And the Stamps build the bigger lead.
That's my fault. I was going.
Final minute of play here at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. The Stamps leading 37-9, and this young Hamilton team being rebuilt. No match for Henry Burris and the Calgary offense. Let's update your Hamilton game notes, Chris.
Well, we said that Jason Moss stay healthy. He stayed healthy, but he just couldn't find the groove. Really kind of struggled a little bit today. We talked about the fact that he was not going deep with his passing attack, relying on the short stuff. We talked about the defense corralling the Stampede. So many weapons. They didn't want to get beat deep, but Calgary, 441 yards total offense. Well, I tell you, they paid for it, but they were still in the game. Ticats offense didn't cough up those 2 big turnovers. Might be a different story.
Well, 4 times inside the Calgary 20, and they couldn't score a touchdown, Chris. Another part of the Hamilton story here tonight. And Richard Alston now, the kick returner, gets his way to the 35-yard line. Tiger Cats won both of their preseason games this year, Chris, and it was reason for optimism coming into this season opener. Don't forget they won both games last year, and everybody thought they looked terrific on paper, and then played that 4-14 season. Timmy Chang getting another series at quarterback in the final 52 seconds of this football game. His brilliant-looking opening drive ending in an interception by Shannon James. Charlie Taff has some bright spots, but a lot of work to do in Hamilton as they get set for their home opener in 1 week's time against the Argos. Chang rolling the pocket right. He's got a man open. It's Anthony Arsenault, his former high school teammate in Hawaii. And those 2 old friends hook up here for a completion in the late stages of this football game. Reminder, tomorrow, World Cup Soccer on CBC, the men's under-20 tournament continuing at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific time, Japan versus Scotland, and then it's Canada and Chile at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time on CBC. 37 seconds to go. Chang getting a few more reps here. Coming in relief of Jason Moss. Throwing downfield. He's got Arsenault going back to his old high school buddy, but a little too high and incomplete. But at least Timmy Chang is trying to stretch this defense.
Well, exactly. I was just going to say that same thing, Mark. The fact is, he's got Arsenault down the field, 20 yards. He just overthrows him. It's exactly what he wants to do.
What would you do next week? Would you come back with Chang, or would you give Moss another chance to start?
I think this offense still is in a growing stage, so I would definitely give Jason Moss the opportunity to start. I may put the hook on him a little earlier if he struggles and put Timmy Chang in, but right now I think you got to give Jason Moss a start.
Well, the talk shows tonight, the 5th quarter in Hamilton will have a lot to deal with. And that punt is caught on the fly, and it was a short one, an unusual short one from Nick Setta, and no yards will be the call against the Ticats on the Rambo return. Stoic Charlie Taff, who has been so successful in the Canadian Football League. His 2 years as head coach of the Montreal Alouettes in '99 and 2000. He was the CFL Coach of the Year. Took the Owls to the Grey Cup right here in Calgary in 2000, losing by 2 points on that failed 2-point convert to Thomas Haskins. And then went back to the University of Maryland. Spent a year as an advisor with Pittsburgh last year, but has come back to the Canadian Football League after a 7-year absence. But he knows winning football, and you know he's going to build a proud organization in Hamilton.
I think they're on the right path. He wants to create a winning attitude. He says sometimes when you lose, it becomes a habit. You expect to lose. He's trying to change that from what happened last year.
He was the coach that worked wonders with a young Anthony Calvillo back in 97-98 when he was the offensive coordinator in Montreal, and Calvillo coming to the Owls after a disastrous few years in Hamilton as a starter. And let's see what he can do now, working with the veteran Moss and the youngster Timmy Chang and a very young receiving corps. This will be the final play of the football game as Burris runs the clock to zeros, and the fireworks hit the night sky here over McMahon. Tom Higgins and Henry Burris defeat Charlie Taff and the Tiger Cats convincingly 37-9 here in the Stampeder home opener. Tom Higgins, who said, "It's my job to take all the pressure off these players and make sure we're focused on coming out of the blocks quickly," and they did that tonight. They put on a good show, and they have won their home opener to start the 07 campaign. And a big smile on Henry Burris, who is full value tonight as the winning quarterback for Calgary. Let's go downstairs, and here's Henry with Brenda.
Well, Henry Burris leads his team to the season opening win. And Henry, you took a lot of heat this week before you even stepped onto the field. How does it feel to answer your naysayers with a game like this?
Well, I mean, the thing is, this team, we're up for something big right now. We're playing for all the marbles, and, people want to blame us for trying to win a championship, then, hey, let them continue to blame them. But right now, we're focused on what we have to do each and every time we step on this field, and that's get better. And as long as we continue to do that, we'll be all right.
Coach Tom Higgins said that one of the biggest differences between this year's team and last year's is it's more focused, more disciplined. Did you feel that today?
Oh, definitely. You can tell our team was so much, we showed a lot of patience, too, because, when there were times that Hamilton did a lot of good things on defense, they made plays, they got a couple turnovers, but you didn't see guys start pointing fingers, running off at the mouth. Guys knew, let's just get back out there on the field, put together a drive, and let's get this thing turned around. That's what we're able to do in the second half.
Congratulations on the win.
Hey, thank you so much.
Now let's go back upstairs.
Henry Burris, #1 in your program and #1 in the hearts of Calgary fans tonight as he directs a win in the Stamps season opener.
Good job, Dougie. Good opener. Kahari worked in well, too, eh? Yeah.
Warrior of the game. Brought to you by the all-new 2007 GMC Sierra. Professional grade.
Not bad. Pretty good for the first. He killed me on that frick, and all of a sudden he goes 5, 4, 3, and try and talk to me. You gotta give me notice on that. Yeah, I got hey, he did that all night. I got killed me. Well, I was talking about Copeland, he killed me.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yep. Yep. Is you. Yeah. Well, the fans here will be in the right mood to celebrate the Stampede next weekend. Their football team so impressive on a beautiful night here in Calgary as the Canada Day fireworks go off. 37-9 in the win, and one of the major reasons tonight's Warrior of the Game. Well, it's awfully early in the season for Mark Lee to pull out the #1 in your program, #1 in your hearts line, but for 8 days, because that's when Calgary will play its next game, Henry Burris will indeed be the toast of the town. 329 yards total offense. Burris was spectacular tonight.
Warrior of the Game, brought to you by the all-new 2007 GMC Sierra, professional grade.
Okay, don't forget after we're off the air, cbcsports.ca for the postgame, and then Greg Ferris will talk about why he thinks Calgary's the best team in the league. But first, we've got, and he does, we've got next week the Hamilton home opener, and what on earth do they do at quarterback now?
It's a tough decision. I love Jason Moss, but I really feel that it's Timmy Chang's time.
Yeah.
That's tough to say.
And Jason Moss, he moved the ball effectively. He stayed within the offensive package that they wanted to bring at this Calgary Stampeder team. He needed to capitalize in the score zones, and that's his biggest fault. He had opportunities. They come, few and far between. He's got to capitalize.
But Timmy Chang comes in and gives him this wonderful option. He's pushing the ball downfield, which is something that Jason Moss failed to do. He's throwing the ball, 10, 15 yards.
That was the one that was called back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This touchdown in the end zone would have made his interception moot if there wasn't mistakes by Brett Ralph. Sorry.
And going with you, I saw a change in that Hamilton team, and sometimes all it takes is a quarterback change. And Jason Moss, he still has those remnants of the past, and that's something that this Hamilton team has to break, and Timmy Chang may be the answer.
Okay, go ahead,
Well,
Greg.
I want to say, look at who they're going to play next week. You need a veteran quarterback to come in and play against the Toronto Argonauts. Timmy Chang is going to struggle against the type of defense that team brings.
All right. Jason's been struggling.
All right, quick poll then. If you're Charlie Taff and you're coaching Hamilton, Sean, who do you start next week?
I still go with Jason Moss.
Yeah, I say Jason Moss.
Timmy Chang.
I think you have to go with him now. I really believe at this point in time, by what you've done tonight, you've got to go with him. Were you guys surprised at all that Calgary didn't give Akili Smith a series in the game?
Not at all. I think you need to establish Henry firmly. Tom Higgins has gone on record as saying that Henry is their guy, and by leaving him in the game, that sent a definitive statement. Unlike Hamilton, who pulled Jason Moss, even though they said that he was their guy, that proves that he's not.
Right, Tom Higgins, Henry Burris is coming under a ton of criticism, like Brenda was asking him at the end of the game, before he'd even stepped onto the field. This is his time. Let's prove everybody wrong. You know what? Let him have his time.
Henry Burris made great decisions all game long. I love the fact that if he didn't find his receiver open, he would take off down the field and make something happen with his feet. And when you got a guy going like that, you start him and you finish him and you go on to the next week.
And what I really like, you look at George Cortez and what he brings to this club. He went in at halftime. They made appropriate offensive adjustments, came out, they executed great, got a great gain by Kenyon Rambo to go and get that score early in the second half. Nice adjustments in the second half.
All right, terrific win for Calgary. Outstanding. The #1 contender to BC, maybe after this week, the #1 team in the entire CFL. A full moon in Calgary and a big decision coming in Hamilton. What do we? Okay, there's our. Where's Canada playing? Does anybody know?
have to. You know what? I think they just neutered Jason Moss. I think they really did. Yeah. Okay.
Well, the moon hasn't moved since we left for commercial. It's still here, still full. Calgary was the best team at home in the Canadian Football League last year, and they were terrific at home here tonight. Here's what's coming up on CBC Sports. Continuation of a busy weekend. Another doubleheader in the World Cup Under-20 soccer. The back end of that, of course, being Canada's opener at BMO Field in Toronto against Chile. A big upset today. Poland over Brazil. Next weekend, July 7th, Track and Field's Golden League from Paris. Don Whitman and Michael Smith have the call at 2 p.m. Eastern. And also show jumping's second tournament of the summer here at Spruce Meadows. The Atco Power Queen Elizabeth II Cup with Scott Oak and Terry Leibel. Atco Power Queen Elizabeth II, I think her actual name in real life. And then, of course, the Hamilton home opener. Who would have thought? Week 1, Damon Allen, Jason Moss. Week 2, looks like it's going to be Michael Bishop. And who knows, 6:30 p.m. Eastern with the kickoff just after 7. Jermaine Chapman had the huge defensive touchdown in the first half. Have a great, great long weekend. And welcome back to McMahon Stadium for the online postgame here as Calgary blows out Hamilton 37-9 in both teams' openers to this regular CFL season. Elliot Friedman along with the panel, Sean, Greg, and Kahari. And I was on radio in Calgary today, and a couple of the Calgary homers were trying to make the point that Calgary already was better than BC this year. Didn't agree with it then. After watching them play tonight, another Calgary homer, Greg Frères.
Where's our own resident homer?
Making the same point.
Where's the red jersey? I know it's under there somewhere.
Well, Craig, you know, everybody said Calgary was the #1 contender coming into this year to BC. You like them better already. Why?
Well, you got to look at BC, and they played Toronto last week, and you know, very unimpressive. I didn't see them be sharp offensively. They have all this talent, and yet they only throw for roughly around 180 yards passing, which is not necessarily unheard of against the Toronto Argonaut defense, but they only rush for 93 yards as well. So very poor outing offensively, and what I didn't see, which I do see in Calgary with George Cortez, is the ability to make adjustments offensively through the game, specifically at halftime. They did a great job of that here against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and then as they moved into the second half, that's when they really took control of the game.
But Greg, this is the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and I guess this is a new season. It's 2007.
Good point.
But I have not seen anything from the Hamilton Tiger Cats thus far that leads me to believe that they are a substantially improved team. They have shown some signs of improvement, some things to hang their hat on. Jason Moss looked a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confident. But when you're looking at the Calgary Stampeders and saying that these guys are going to be, you know, world beaters and are going to be better than the BC Lions, you got to look at the competition that they did this against as well.
Good point.
You know, the one thing that I see with the Calgary Stampeders, weapons. They have weapons all over the field. All of their receivers are potentially 1,000-yard receivers. Joffrey Reynolds, arguably the best running back in the league. Henry Burris, all he has to do is go back there. Joe Cortez has made this offense so that he can just sit back in the pocket, make his reads, hit anybody. He doesn't have to shy away from anything. And I just see this Calgary Stampeders as being a very, very good team the whole year.
And that's the point that I'm trying to make, Sean, is that, you know, you watch the BC's offense, you know, and I understand their opponent and how it's different than Hamilton, but they're crisp. They're not as crisp as what I saw the Calgary
Game one, though.
No, and I understand that, but that can be also more challenging. You don't typically see a crisp execution of offense early on in the season. It's something that you grow into. I saw that also with the Edmonton Eskimos. I thought that they were very crisp offensively. And so, you know, it's going to be very tight in the West. I'm not trying to knock BC. They're a very good football team. I just didn't see what I thought I would see from them in Game 1.
Hamilton made it easy on them. You've got two rookie corners, first-year corners, first year in the league. The other corner, it's his second year in the league, Gordon and Anderson. And you've got, you know, rookie linebackers. You've got rookie guys up front on the defensive front four. I think Burris had an easy time. The reads came easy. Guys were dropping off guys all the time. Anybody can play when it's that kind of situation. I want to see what happens when he's got real fire.
Yeah, you know, it'll be interesting to see next week because they got to go into Saskatchewan. They got to play there. Kahari, your thoughts on Burris tonight, though?
I thought Henry Burris played a fantastic football game. I mean, you can only do what you can with the people in front of you. He made great reads out there. I liked the way he ran the football today. I really thought that he did a great job.
It looked like it was designed for them to do that on purpose.
He did, and early on, George Cortez designed it so, hey, let's get his feet involved, let's get him going down the field, and then that spurned the passing game, and that got everything worked on top of everything. They were just like building blocks in this game, and I thought they ran the game plan beautifully, and that started with Henry Burris.
And that's one of the things he does well, is once he's using his feet, it opens up opportunities like this to Cote, where people are worrying about him, thinking that, okay, Henry's going to run, and all of a sudden he pulls up and puts the ball downfield, and you've got 6 on the board.
Well, and one of the big question marks was not necessarily offensively, but defensively for the Calgary Stampeders and all the change that they brought onto defense. A lot of speed, but a lot of youth. And what I did see is that they bent, but they didn't break. They went down. Obviously, Jason Moss needed to capitalize, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats capitalized on the opportunities to score when they were there. But you know what? The Calgary Stampeder defense did a good job of keeping them out of the end zone, and that's a great victory for them.
All right, biggest play in this game was in the first half. Hamilton backed up basically at their own 1-yard line. They throw a directional, basically a lateral to Brock Ralph. He fumbles. Jermaine Chapman scores the touchdown. That was the biggest play of the game. And, you know, I know you guys were saying you didn't even like this call.
And this is ridiculous. I'm not even sure what the coaching staff was thinking, and I put that on them. You're sitting inside your own end zone, and you're going to throw the ball a long ways across to the wide side of the field, give the defense a perfect opportunity to read the play and come up. And at the very best you could hope out of this is that you just get stopped right on the line of scrimmage. Much less what actually happened is the ball gets knocked out and it's 6 points for the other team.
And again, we talked about last year's offense and the problems they had the last year. One of the last year's problems was that they threw the ball laterally instead of down the field. And soon as this game started, you saw the same things happening. You saw Jason Moss going back, throwing those short passes, and not really challenging the defense. In this league, with this long field, you have to challenge the defense. You have